Chapter 8:26. Zheng Tao, hold on. At this moment, Chen Yaozu was almost there. He was faster than Fang Ping. Chen Yaozu's face was pale, but he was seething with anger. There were fewer and fewer old people. How many familiar faces were there now? Even in desperation realms, who claimed to have unlimited lifespans, acquaintances had fallen today. Zheng Tao guarded Imperial Sea Mountain for 60 years. Although he did not kill the enemy, his contributions were indispensable. With him here for 60 years, as long as he was alive, it meant that Imperial Sea Mountain would not be invaded by true kings. When he died, he also had a way to inform the Apex that true kings were attacking, and that the Apex was coming quickly. This was his role. It sounded ridiculous, but it was not. The dozen people who were not Apex at Imperial Sea Mountain were all like this. They were all prepared to die. A true king entered the realm and used their blood as a messenger. That was why the powerhouses here were almost all Origin Dao. Only Origin Dao could seize a chance in the hands of a true king and use some means to inform the Apex that a true king had entered the realm. Zheng Tao waited for 60 years. Chen Yaozu did not want him to lose his life at the last moment of victory. Today, the only powerhouse who returned from Imperial Sea Mountain was Ma Tianfu, the Purple Catacombs passageway guardian. Such a person should not die before dawn. Chen Yaozu was about to arrive, but the 10 god generals who came to help had arrived a step earlier. At this moment, Zheng Tao was no longer human, but he was holding his breath, fighting like a machine, killing until he went crazy. He could not die until he killed a rank 9. A tough guy. The god general under Green Wolf King praised, not denying Zheng Tao's toughness. He did not make a move. The other party glanced at Chen Yaozu, who was close to 30 li away, then looked at Zheng Tao, who was about to be killed. At this moment, the 10 of them had arrived. Killing Zheng Tao was extremely easy. However, after a glance, the strong man said quickly, "Kill him, the other party won't come. If not, the other party will come. What should we choose?" Chen Yaozu arrived alone. Fang Ping was behind. They had not recognized him yet, but they knew that the rank 8 martial artist was Fang Ping. The two of them were dozens of li ahead of the others. Should they wait for the two of them to arrive and kill them together, or kill Zheng Tao now? Now that Zheng Tao was dead and Chen Yaozu and the others had not really gone crazy, they would probably join forces with the others and attack together. At that time, it would be too difficult to have such an opportunity again. The female divine general under Zi Luo King's command hesitated for a moment before quickly saying, "Kill him. As for the others, we'll kill them when we have the chance." "We can't. Fang Ping is behind us. Fang Ping is full of tricks. This time he came alone. This is a rare opportunity." The divine generals under King Feng and King Huai spoke at the same time. Both of them did not care about Zheng Tao's life or death, but Fang Ping actually rushed here alone. Although there was still Chen Yaozu ahead, there were only 2 of them. The others were dozens of li away from them, so it would take them at least a minute or 2 to get there. Here, 16 rank 9s were gathered. Even if the Liu King was severely injured, 15 of them against 2. Zheng Tao would be more or less crippled. 8 against 1. Among them, there were 6 origins. How could they not be able to kill them? Then let's wait for them to arrive. The burly man under the Green Wolf King was also the leader of this operation. After all, this was the 7 southern regions, the Green Wolf King's territory. Having said that, the brawny man said quickly, "For Demon Kings, please wait for a moment. Wait for Fang Ping to arrive before you kill this person." Screech! An eagle's cry was heard. The giant eagle Demon King's voice was angry and somewhat dissatisfied. At this moment, its eagle claws were already grabbing Zheng Tao's skull. Before the claws arrived, Zheng Tao's skull had already cracked, and the dull golden bones were protruding. If this claw landed, Zheng Tao might not survive. The brawny man said hurriedly, "This is a rare opportunity. Just wait for a moment." The giant eagle screeched again. Suddenly, it flapped its wings and sliced Zheng Tao in half. Zheng Tao's upper and lower body were separated, but he struggled and refused to die. He leaped up and headbutted the giant eagle. The giant eagle was even more furious. It flapped its wings again and sent Zheng Tao flying with a bang. Large amounts of golden blood gushed out and turned into red blood. When the imperishable substance was used up, the golden body would shatter, and the golden body powerhouse's blood would no longer be golden. This also meant that the golden body powerhouse had reached the point where he was on the verge of death. The golden body had been destroyed. The giant eagle sent Zheng Tao flying and did not care about him anymore. Its mentality fluctuated and said, "The person in front, all of you kill. The person behind, 100 Beasts Forest, kill." It was not stupid. The powerhouse in front was obviously a top-notch powerhouse. The aura on his body was frightening. The person behind, on the other hand, was much weaker. The brawny man was stunned for a moment. Then he said, quickly, "Okay, the 12 of us will work together to kill King Gu's descendant. For Demon Kings, Gopher, come with us." The giant eagle was not careless either. Gopher was an Origin Dao powerhouse. King Leo was seriously injured. Although the person behind did not look strong, he was extremely fast. Obviously, he would not be easy to kill. They had to pull this rat to their side. 2 Origin Dao and 2 weak rank 9s. This was more like it. As for the remaining 11 people, there were 4 Origin Dao. It should be enough to kill King Gu's descendant. The brawny man knew that Fong Ping might not be easy to kill. He said immediately, "Okay." As they were talking, Chen Yaozu arrived. Seeing Zheng Tao, who had fallen to the ground but was still struggling to crawl, seeing that he was already in a daze, blood gushing out of his body but not dead yet, Chen Yaozu could not tell if he was happy or sad. "All of you deserve to die." Although there were 16 rank 9s here, Chen Yaozu was not afraid at this moment. He did not snatch Zheng Tao. These people deliberately left Zheng Tao alive to lure him into the trap. If he left, he would be killed immediately. Moreover, he would not be able to escape. At this moment, as soon as he arrived, these people surrounded him from all directions. Chen Yaozu did not hesitate either. The Origin Dragon appeared instantly. In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind King Leo, divine weapon in hand. Sword out. Click. Chen Yaozu had no intention of leaving the brain nucleus behind. King Leo's skull was smashed. The brain nucleus was exposed. At this moment, it hid 500 to 600 meters away, thinking that Chen Yaozu was surrounded and could not escape. Who knew? It did not know Chen Yaozu's ability at all. At this moment, Chen Yaozu's mastery of Origin Dao was getting better. In the blink of an eye, he broke through the void and appeared behind it. With a slash of his sword, he smashed its brain nucleus. Roar! An extremely shrill roar of despair was heard. The brain nucleus was smashed, and the mentality was destroyed. The headless giant corpse of the lion fell to the ground instantly. Damn it! The giant eagle and the others were stunned. They did not expect King Gu's descendant to have such an ultimate art. He actually broke through their encirclement and killed the heavily injured King Leo. They had not killed the resurrected martial artist yet, but a rank 9 had fallen first. Kill. In the next moment, the muscular man and the others attacked one after another. The muscular man saw Chen Yaozu's constant flickering and roughly understood the principle. He quickly shouted, "Activate the immortal deity and seal his Origin Dao passageway." They were all rank 9, and there were a few Origin Dao powerhouses. Although many people could not do what Chen Yaozu did, it did not mean that they did not know how to deal with it. In an instant, more than 10 powerhouses used their mentality to seal the void. Once the mentality was sealed, Chen Yaozu's Origin Dragon roared instantly, but it could not be used by Chen Yaozu anymore. "You're quite smart." Chen Yaozu did not care. He sneered. "Fine, then I'll kill you bastards." As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Yaozu moved forward with his sword in hand. The dragon disappeared and a huge attack word integrated into the longsword. The power of destruction exploded. Kill! With a loud shout, a murderous aura soared. Today, only by killing his way to the top and proving his Tao could he not waste this trip. So what if there were 15 rank 9s? Even if he could not win, he still had to fight. Both sides had just started fighting when Fong Ping arrived. At this moment, Fong Ping's face was pale. Looking at Zheng Tao, who was covered in blood, he was furious. Zheng Tao's golden body was broken, red blood flowing. Right now, he was no different from an ordinary person. If this dragged on, he would definitely die. The only way to save the old man was to kill these people quickly or force them to retreat. 100 Beasts Forest. All of you deserve to die. The giant eagle had its eyes on Fong Ping, and Fong Ping had his eyes on it. He knew that on Zheng Tao's side, it was these few monsters who did it. They all had to die. A Changdao appeared in his hand. Without another word, Fong Ping broke through the air and slashed at the giant eagle. Screech! A sharp, piercing eagle cry rang again. The giant eagle's sharp claws grabbed the Changdao. On the side, the giant crocodile, the long snake, and the gopher attacked Fong Ping. 2 origin Dao and 2 weak rank 9s were enough to deal with Chen Yaozu. Fong Ping, however, did not care. Just as the Changdao and the eagle's claws were about to touch, Fong Ping's mentality exploded suddenly. Boom! Thunder out of thin air. Invisible waves rippled in all directions. The giant eagle was slightly stagnant. The other 3 monsters were the same. At this moment, Fong Ping endured the excruciating pain of his head exploding. With a slash, the shining eagle's claws were bloody. So what if it was Origin Dao? Was the golden body of Origin Dao stronger than him? Was the outburst of Origin Dao stronger than him? That might not be the case. With a slash, the eagle's claws were broken. Seeing that the giant eagle was about to wake up, Fong Ping self-detonated his mentality again. At the same time, Fong Ping's mentality recovered quickly. In the blink of an eye, he broke through to where Chen Yaozu and the others were. Boom! With a crisp sound in the void, the mentality blockade set by many powerhouses shattered in an instant. At this moment, Chen Yaozu suddenly appeared, appearing in front of the giant eagle. With a flash of golden light, he slashed at the eagle's head. The giant eagle's huge eyes regained clarity in the blink of an eye. With a violent cry, it flew backward quickly. What Chen Yaozu wanted was for it to retreat. At this moment, although he and Fong Ping did not work together much, they had a tacit understanding. Fong Ping's 7 orifices were bleeding profusely, but he did not care. Once again, he self-detonated his mentality. He self-detonated 3 times in a row. This time, he blew up the giant crocodile. The giant crocodile did not expect the giant eagle to run away. These 2 people suddenly gathered together and targeted it. His mentality was injured, instantly, slightly stagnant. And a peerless rank 9 like Chen Yaozu needed this moment. On the long sword, a murderous aura rushed to the sky. Kill! A loud roar was not useless. Mixed with a strong mentality bombardment, once again intimidated the powerhouses in all directions. Hum! A crack appeared in the void. Chen Yaozu stabbed with his sword, directly and indirectly, smashing the giant crocodile's heart core. At this point in the battle, this time, including Fong Ping, no one wanted to preserve the monster's heart core and brain core completely. The demon core. This was the real fatal part of the demon clan. If the brain core was smashed, death was certain and mentality destroyed. If the heart core was smashed, the energy would collapse. Even if the mentality was not destroyed, the demon clan would not be able to fight anymore. Energy would be out of control, and in serious cases they would die directly. Eating and drinking. Although the demon clan's realm improvement was slow, there were not too many bottlenecks. However, the demon core was also their weakness. Bang! The giant crocodile's corpse fell. With this sword, Qin Yaozu directly smashed its heart core. The power that erupted from the long sword also directly shattered its vitality. Even if the mentality was not completely destroyed, at this time, the other party was also in a half-dead state. In the blink of an eye, 2 rank 9 monsters were dead. And until now, the giant eagle only retreated 100 meters away, suddenly roaring in anger. The 100 Beasts Forest, 4 big demon kings, after fighting for a while, actually had 2 killed. The people from the restricted area were actually unable to entangle the descendants of King Gu. They were all useless. The strong man and the group of people were also pale, their expressions ugly. The 11 of them, under the joint effort, were actually killed by Qin Yaozu. Although it was caused by Fang Ping's mentality, it still made them feel ashamed. 16 rank 9s here, only 2 of them. Even if Lion King was severely injured previously, King Crocodile was not, and it was actually killed by a sword. Kagu. These god generals were also angry. Their mentality crisscrossed again, messing up the energy distribution here, no longer giving Qin Yaozu a chance to ambush. No longer fighting separately, the remaining 11 people and 3 monsters surrounded the 2 of them in the middle, attacked one after another. These people were also incomparably powerful. Among them, a few rank 9 powerhouses suddenly erupted their mentality together, shocking Fang Ping. Fang Ping's face turned pale, quickly self-detonating his mentality again, shocking these people. In the end, these people actually had a tacit understanding in the blink of an eye without any communication. 3 of them resisted. 3 of them released their mentality again to shock Fang Ping. 3 rank 9s blocked the power of self-detonation. More than enough. The remaining 3 rank 9s' mentality was not weaker than Fang Ping's. In the blink of an eye, Fang Ping also tasted the feeling of being shocked by someone's mentality. Taking advantage of the moment when he self-detonated and recovered, the other 3 people shocked him. In the next second, a long spear stabbed at Fang Ping's head. Fang Ping was a little dizzy. Beside him, Qin Yaozu roared, using his sword to block the long spear, grabbed Fang Ping, and leaped tens of meters into the air, avoiding the other people's attack. Fang Ping suddenly woke up, his face revealing a look of fear. These catacombs powerhouses had a very strong tacit understanding. Mentality self-detonation was not invincible. Previously, when he self-detonated, that was because the other powerhouses were occupied, unable to deal with Fang Ping. At this time, these people against Fang Ping, as long as a few people blocked when he self-detonated, a few people surrounded him, then there would not be a situation where Fang Ping killed them. Child's play. Do you really think we don't know how special you are? The god general under King Maple sneered. Regarding Fang Ping, everyone on King Maple's side knew. It was this person who made King Maple a joke in the eyes of the true kings. Fang Ping had self-detonated mentality before. Others might not know or remember, but the powerhouses under King Maple still knew. Right now, although Fang Ping's mentality self-detonation was scary, it was not invincible. 8,000 Hertz mentality self-detonation was scary, but 3 rank 9s were enough to withstand it. After saying that, the person shouted again, if he dares to self-detonate again, it will take an extremely short period of time to recover. Shock him again, kill him. From self-detonation to recovery, Fang Ping was fast. No matter how fast it was still the process of 1 to 8,000 Hertz. It would not take a second. However, this less than a second was enough for the rank 9 to shock Fang Ping and kill him. Fang Ping's expression was livid. However, he did not say anything. Yes, he had a flaw. It was impossible to be invincible. However, he was very displeased that his flaw had been caught so quickly. There were still too few people. Wu Chuan and the others were too slow. Otherwise, these people would not have the time to send 3 rank 9s to block him, and then send another 3 rank 9s to shock him. Fang Ping was helpless, suddenly saying, "Senior, I'll self-detonate, you kill." He was prepared to hide behind Chen Yaozu and self-detonate. As soon as he said that, everyone was already attacking. Fang Ping scurried behind Chen Yaozu and began to self-detonate mentality again. The others blocked again. A few of them unleashed mentality to shock. Chen Yaozu was not a dead man either. Seizing this opportunity, he also unleashed mentality, suppressing the surroundings. At the same time, he also sent a voice transmission. Quickly, this can't go on. Zhang Tao can't hold on anymore. He can't withstand the aftermath of the battle either. We have reservations. They have no reservations. Zhang Tao is about to be shocked to death. What should we do? Fang Ping was a little anxious. Not only Zhang Tao, he had self-detonated 4 to 5 times in a row. He could not hold on anymore too. The continuous damage to him was too great. Right now, he felt like his brain was about to explode. If it happened a few more times, he would also have no energy to self-detonate. Both of them would be blasted to death. As for Wu Chuan and the rest, they still had at least 30 seconds. 30 seconds was enough for them to die a few times. At this time, Chen Yaozu sent a voice transmission quickly. Give me a large amount of imperishable substance. Detonate the imperishable substance. Save Zhang Tao. Retreat immediately. As long as they met up with Wu Chuan and the rest, then it would not be these people chasing after them. It would be them chasing after these guys. These guys, did they really think that 6 Tao of origins was enough? Fang Ping was not careless either. The imperishable substance could be detonated. However, without the cooperation of the mineral vein, its power was limited. Even a rank 9 could not kill it. It could only block them slightly, and it was a serious waste, not cost-effective. 1,000 yuan of imperishable substance, at most, could block these rank 9s in the blink of an eye. That was the consumption of 10 million wealth points. For many people, 1,000 yuan of imperishable substance, that was the lifetime savings of a paragon. Just to block a few rank 9s for a moment, this was the biggest waste. However, Fang Ping still did not care so much. In the blink of an eye, a few thousand yuan of imperishable substance appeared in his hands. He and Chen Yaozu joined hands to unleash their mentality, detonating it quickly, throwing it out. Rumble. A few explosive sounds rang out. Those rank 9 powerhouses were slightly stagnant. Taking advantage of this moment, Chen Yaozu did not kill anymore. At this time, what was the point of killing one? Next time, these people would have experience. It would be harder for them to escape. At this moment, Chen Yaozu directly broke through the void. A giant dragon appeared, the dragon's tail appearing in front of Zhang Tao. In the blink of an eye, Chen Yaozu landed on the ground, grabbing Zhang Tao, yelling, "It's me, go!" Having said that, without another word, he carried Zhang Tao and ran. At the same time, Fang Ping also turned and fled, mentality quickly self-detonating once again blocking everyone for a moment, retreating quickly. Behind them, Wu Chuan was slightly faster. Wu Quishan was next, followed by Li Changshen. These 3 people at this moment were also almost there. Seeing the 2 of them carrying half of their bodies and escaping, Wu Quishan's mentality erupted, the pressure shaking the sky, yelling, "Hold on for a while more!" The 3 powerhouses' speed was extremely fast, as long as they were not killed now. When they arrived, these people were nothing. Right now, there were only 14 rank. 9 humans could kill them. Damn it. They rushed over, but the catacombs god generals were furious. With such an advantage, they actually could not kill their opponents. Now, Wu Quishan and the rest were less than 20 li away from here. They would arrive in the blink of an eye. The few of them no longer cared about consumption, about the overload on their bodies. Their speed would be even faster. If this went on, it might be difficult to kill Fang Ping and the rest. Fang Ping, you deserve to die. At this moment, the powerhouses under King Maple's command suddenly roared. At this moment, Fang Ping's expression changed slightly. Then he let out a cold humph. King Maple was doing this too. At the back, the god general actually threw out a familiar maple leaf. Fang Ping had seen it before. At this moment, Fong Ping's first thought was to throw out old Zhang's split body. But at this moment, Fong Ping suddenly thought of something. I can also control a true king's split body. I am Feng Niesheng, King Maple's biological grandson. You can control it, but what about me? I can do it better than you. Although it might not work, King Maple's split body might not be able to kill him. Last time he saw it, it was not too powerful, only comparable to the weakest origin Dao. The moment the maple leaf was thrown, Fong Ping instantly turned into Feng Niesheng, taking on Feng Niesheng's appearance and aura. The moment King Maple's apparition appeared, Fong Ping suddenly shouted, "Royal Ancestor, kill him!" As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping's mentality exploded, starting to contact the apparition. The apparition was just a program, not King Maple himself. At this moment, there was actually a slight stagnation. The apparition was confused. According to the characteristics of the split body, the manipulator would direct the apparition to attack whoever he wanted to kill, whoever he locked onto. However, as King Maple's biological grandson, even if it was just a program, it still represented King Maple himself. Killing his own grandson, King Maple's apparition, stagnated for a moment. At this moment, Fong Ping also fled quickly. "Idiot, playing this game with me. Let your split body go to waste." Sir, the divine general under King Maple's command was about to go crazy. This was given to him by King Maple before he came. He could only use it if he had to kill Fong Ping. The strength of this split body was even stronger than the one he gave to Feng Niesheng last time. King Maple had paid a huge price for it. However, King Maple himself had probably forgotten that the split body was not him, so he did not know how to distinguish between friend and foe in this instant. The apparition stagnated for a moment, probably still accepting the order. Ignoring Fong Ping's order, it charged toward Fong Ping swiftly. However, in the next moment, Fong Ping's aura suddenly disappeared. The apparition stagnated for a moment again. At this moment, the time that the split body existed was almost up, and its aura began to decline. For a moment, it actually lost its direction of attack. It saw Fong Ping, but these split bodies killed people based on the aura they had locked onto earlier. Damn it! The divine general, who was chasing from behind, was furious. Damn it, damn it! King Maple's split body's autonomy was too weak. This was also because King Maple was not too strong and the mentality he cut was not too much. Otherwise, this would not have happened. The split bodies of Zhang Tao, Life King, and the others did not have this problem. King Maple was still lacking a little. Although the split body strength was only comparable to the origin Dao, this was a true king's split body. It had some special powers that could kill the same rank. Now, it was actually going to waste. Damn it, if King Maple found out about this, he would kill him. Even when a true king cut the split body, it was not as easy as he wanted to. The divine general under King Maple was furious, and the other divine generals were helpless too. This matter was messed up. At this moment, the muscular man suddenly said, "Retreat." They could not chase anymore. Fong Ping and the others had to meet up with the others. With the strength of the 14 of them, if they really fought, they might end up like the group of people before them. They could not use the fueling tactic anymore. If they lined up one by one to die, it would only get worse. They had to meet up with the others. The divine general under King Maple watched as the King Maple's split body's aura weakened. Not long after, Qin suddenly turned around and slashed with his sword, piercing through the apparition directly. This made the powerhouse under King Maple's command so angry that his eyes almost popped out. The split body did not dissipate on its own. Instead, it was killed by the martial artist who resurrected. To a true king, this was a disgrace. Damn it, if this matter spread, he would be in big trouble. Even if the split body self-destructed, it was still better than being destroyed by martial artists below the true king level. To the 10,000 ants desert, the muscular man shouted. There were many demons over there. The monster Sunflower City's city lord, the Origin Tao powerhouse had also gone there. They could meet up with the powerhouses there. The giant eagle screeched, full of dissatisfaction. In this short period of time, 2 rank 9 demon kings were killed. It was too dissatisfied. However, at this moment, if they continued to chase, they would need to fight the martial artist who resurrected. Without saying anything more, the 14 powerhouses swept the 2 demon corpses and left in the blink of an eye. They headed west, ready to meet up with the demons in the 10,000 Ants Desert, just as they were rushing over to the other side. In the west, suddenly there was a violent roar. The Jiao had been waiting for this moment. Finally it made its move. The roar in the west was endless. The beast's roar spread hundreds of miles to the west. The 3 giant golden ants did not expect that the golden-horned beast, who had been acting like a grandson along the way, would actually attack them now. Along the way, this grandson of his had been humbly asking for advice, including his worries about the future, how to eliminate his dissatisfaction with the Lord Huai King, how to develop in the restricted area in the future, whether the myriad demon royal court would accept them as disciples of a true king. In short, this grandson had a lot of questions. He was very childish and full of uncertainty about the future. This made the giant ant despise him, but it also felt good to be flattered. But in the end, this grandson changed his attitude, just like that. The strongest ant king in the 10,000 Ants Desert, which it had almost hugged, was just short of touching the Jiao's body. It did not expect that the Jiao, who had been flattering it just a moment ago, would turn around and use its golden horn to pierce its abdomen, almost shattering its core. At this moment, sharp roars and cries of pain spread in all directions. Mixed among them was the Jiao's excited roar. Kill! Kill them and take the 10,000 Ants Desert. Devour the Ant King. The demons of the 7 southern regions are honored by the boundaries. As the Jiao fought, it encouraged its demon heart, leading hundreds of demons to quickly surround and kill the Ant Kings. As for the monster Sunflower City Lord who was about to rush over, he wanted to cry but had no tears. He suddenly felt that there was no place for him in the 7 southern regions anymore. Wherever he escaped, there would be unforeseen events. He had thought that the West was the safest. Who would have thought that a demon war would break out in the West and there would be internal strife? Hundreds of demons fought incessantly. In the blink of an eye, a rank 9 aura dissipated. A rank 9 ant had fallen. Rumble. A self-explosion sounded. The second rank 9 aura dissipated, along with the auras of more than 10 rank 7 demons. The demon war was even more bloody and cruel. At this moment, battles were everywhere in the 7 southern regions. Powerhouses' auras were everywhere. On this day, the catacombs residents of the entire 7 southern regions were trembling with fear. Rank 7 and 8 powerhouses were also holed up, no longer as arrogant as usual. The war went on for days. King realms fell like weeds. For hundreds of years, there was not a time when there were more rank 9s than this time. At this moment, there was still a steady stream of rank 9s entering the territory. At Imperial Sea Mountain, more than 60 rank 9 powerhouses rose into the air and rushed to the front line. At Hope City, many rank 9s also revealed their auras, boiling with killing intent. They gathered everyone and prepared for battle. In the restricted zone, the true king was still mobilizing the rank 9s. On Earth, Nan Yunue rushed to the 5 holy lands to ask for help. If they did not participate in the war, if Sino Nation was defeated and conquered a region, they would no longer care about Earth's survival, whether they would help or not. Nan Yunue, who had asked for help, was at daggers drawn. If there was a disagreement, she would counterattack the 5 holy lands and completely surrender to the catacombs. On this day, chaos was everywhere. /4_M. Chapter 8:27. In the west, the demons led by the Jiao suddenly turned hostile. 3 rank 9 giant ants were caught off guard. One of the rank 9 ants self-destructed, killing the other on the spot. Even the leading ant king was severely injured by the Jiao. Its core was injured, and its energy began to dissipate. As the strongest demon king in the 10,000 ant hive desert, the ant king was also a powerhouse in origin Dao. It was no weaker than the giant eagle in the 100 Beasts forest. However, the ant king was still in despair, furious, and unwilling to accept this. It had been ambushed by the Jiao, golden-horned beast. The giant golden ant squeaked angrily, its mentality no longer fluctuating. The Jiao's huge face revealed a cunning expression. It began to roar as well. Ant King, watch your manners. Communicate with the immortal deity. The Jiao was very pleased. Didn't the giant ant say it was childish when it used beast language to communicate? Why was it roaring now? Kill it. Return to the 10,000 ant hive desert and kill the remaining 2 demon kings. The Jiao roared again. It had led hundreds of high-ranked demons out of the bounded zone this time. The giant golden ant was not with it. The Jiao was no longer attacking on its own. As the Beast King, it had to command the troops. More than 20 rank, 8 beasts, and 4 rank. 9 demons began to besiege the giant ant. The Jiao sensed the aura of the monster Sunflower City's governor and roared. In the next instant, hundreds of rank 7 demons charged in that direction. The monster Sunflower City's governor saw this from afar. He turned and fled without a word. It was crazy. Hundreds of high-ranked demons. Even he would have to kneel if he encountered them. His divine weapon had been destroyed, and he had been injured by the longevity sword. Although he still had origin Dao strength, there were hundreds of rank 7 demons. Roar! The sounds of fighting continued. The Jiao could see the light of victory. In the next instant, the Jiao looked in the direction the monster Sunflower City's governor had fled. Suddenly, more than 10 rank 9 auras came from that direction. The Jiao was stunned. What's going on? Why did he suddenly come to kill it? I'm just killing a few ants. Is there a need to kill me? While the Jiao was stunned, the people who had rushed to the west were also furious. Golden-horned beast. The giant eagle was enraged. Traitor. This was the aura of the traitor from the 100 Beasts forest. It was actually not dead, and not only did it not die, it actually launched a sneak attack on the 10,000 ant desert and killed several ant kings. Golden-horned beast. Damn beast. The divine generals under King Huai were also furious. Even they had heard of this golden-horned beast. It had once lured a true king into the outer realms to hunt it down. In the end, the other party ran to the domain of domains, and everyone thought that the other party would never dare to come out again. Who knew that at this critical moment, the other party would actually appear? Anger. The reinforcements from the 10,000 ant desert were actually killed by the golden-horned beast. Boom! Before those people could rush over, the last gigantic ant could not hold on any longer and was instantly destroyed by the combined attacks of dozens of demons. In the void, the shadow of a giant golden ant had just appeared when the Jiao suddenly opened its bloody mouth wide and swallowed the golden ant in one gulp. What? Everyone was dumbfounded. The golden-horned beast actually ate the ant king's spiritual power materialization, just as they were dumbfounded. In the direction of the city of Hope and Mount Imperial Sea, the ash cat's big head popped out again. The big cat's face was full of shock. Gluttony of the 8 directions divine technique? The ash cat said the name of an absolute art that left everyone dumbfounded. Gluttony of the 8 directions divine technique. This was the absolute art of a certain big dog. There was only one word to describe it: eat. It ate whatever it caught. It did not eat everything, but only picked the best to eat. In any case, it just ate. The more it ate, the better it ate, the stronger it was. Think about it, the ash cat eating was to enjoy the life of a cat. That big dog was different. That big dog ate was completely to become stronger. Eat to become stronger, and then eat again. Whenever it saw something good, it would snatch it. The ash cat had many good things, and the big dog had robbed it many times. The ash cat remembered it clearly. Even after thousands of years, it had not forgotten that evil big dog. But now, this is the big dog's descendant? The big dog is dead. The ash cat did not feel that the Jiao's aura was familiar. If the big dog was the reincarnation of the same life source, there was no reason for it not to recognize it. Since it was not familiar, was this big dog the descendant of the big dog from the past? The big dog's descendant was actually in the 7 southern regions. What did this mean? Could it be that the big dog knew that it was not dead and threw its descendant here for it to take care of? No, it was prepared to let its descendant snatch its food? That evil big dog! The ash cat cursed softly, suddenly feeling a little sad. Was the big dog dead? The experts of that era were all gone. It remembered that the big dog had also disappeared a long time ago. Back then, the big dog had followed a group of people to eat delicious food. That departure was an eternal farewell. At that time it was still sleeping. When it woke up, the world changed, the sex rose, and the world was born. Quokang Mountain had delicious food, so it came. It was not a demon-taming beast of Quokang Mountain, and Gong Zhuanzi was not qualified to tame it. In Quokang Mountain, it was quite comfortable. In the end, the second time it slept, it missed the great battle again. The world changed again, and the big changes happened again. Old acquaintances, friends, family, everything was gone. When it woke up again, the world had changed and people had changed. Everything was gone. Now it saw something familiar, the big dog's ultimate skill. Did the big dog have descendants? It could not remember. It had slept for too long, so long that it had forgotten the past. Thousands of years had passed, and the only thing it had some impression of was those memories worth remembering. The big dog is dead. The ash cat's huge eyes suddenly became watery. The ash cat Tengu, the heaven's favorite. The Tengu was dead, and its descendant was here. Why did you send me here? I'm not familiar with you. The ash cat muttered. The old cat muttered. Suddenly, big drops of tears rolled down its face and crashed into the water of the forbidden sea, creating a rumbling sound. The big dog was very powerful, so powerful that it would be robbed every time. It was not enough for the big dog to rob it, so it brought people to take revenge, but in the end everything was robbed by the big dog. That evil big dog even asked it to call more people. And if they snatched something good, they would split it evenly and give some benefits to the ash cat. The ash cat did not want to become stronger, and it did not like fighting. But the big dog only wanted to become stronger, and it wanted to become the Tengu Emperor. It was so powerful, how could it die? Who killed you? The ash cat muttered. The cat muttered, You're so strong, who can kill you? The next moment, the ash cat suddenly changed direction and quickly dug a hole in the west. The big dog actually threw its descendant here. It had seen this puppy before, but although it looked similar to the big dog, it was still different. The big dog left seeds everywhere. Maybe it's a crossbreed. The ash cat muttered in its heart. It should be. Who knew? In the west, the strongest big ant was killed, and the Jiao swallowed its mentality manifestation. The Ant King was completely dead. 3 rank, 9 monsters were killed before they could even cause a ripple. Right now, there were still 2 rank, 9 big ants in the 10,000 ants desert. In the east, 14 powerhouses met up with Monster, Sunflower City Lord, and 15 powerhouses were rushing over. When the Jiao saw this, it suddenly roared. Ignore them. Go to the 10,000 ants desert, kill the remaining 2 ant kings, and slaughter the 10,000 ants desert. The Jiao was not afraid of the 15 rank 9s. Including itself, there were 5 rank 9s. There were also more than 20 rank 8s, and hundreds of rank 7s. If they really fought, these guys might not be able to do anything to it. After it killed the 2 big ants, it could attack or defend, retreat to the bounded zone, and they would not dare to chase after it. Go! The Jiao roared and led the demons under its command, moving quickly west. Golden-horned beast. The Jiao did not care about the roar behind it. Giant Eagle King. It would kill this giant eagle sooner or later. Last time, it dared to abandon it, causing it to be hunted by King Huai. Just wait and see. A war broke out in the west, and 3 rank 9 monsters were dead. At this point, the 7 southern territories had lost as many as 19 rank 9s. The last time Wu Quishan and the others fought, he killed 6. The battle at Sky Gate, he killed 2. Fong Ping's trip to the Bounded Zone, he killed 2. In less than half a year, the 7 southern territories lost 29 rank 9s. The 7 southern territories had become a rank 9 graveyard. More and more powerhouses died in the 7 southern territories. The 7 southern territories had really become a huge meat grinder. The monster Sunflower City Lord and the others were still chasing west. At this moment, Fong Ping and the others had already gathered. Fong Ping had already sensed the aura of Li Daong and the others, but he did not have time to greet them. At this moment, Fong Ping quickly replenished Zheng Tao's imperishable substance. However, the old man's injuries were too severe, and it was difficult for his golden body to recover in a short time. However, his flesh was growing at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his aura was no longer as unstable as before. Fong Ping paused for a moment, waiting for Wang Qinghai to arrive. Fong Ping suddenly carried the old man to Wang Qinghai, then gritted his teeth and said, "Everyone, the Western powerhouses have gathered. It will be difficult to kill them in a short time. Let's go to 100 Beasts Forest and slaughter it." At this moment, Fong Ping hated 100 Beasts Forest to the core. 100 Beasts Forest still had a rank 9 Demon King, more than 10 rank 8s, and nearly 100 rank 7 powerhouses. Fong Ping was furious. These demons dared to join the war at this time. Then they could not blame him for not holding back. He would destroy the 100 Beasts Forest, Forbidden Land. As soon as he said this, Qin Yaozu's eyes were cold. Let's go. The 10,000 Demon Royal Court has never participated in wars. This time, the 2 Forbidden Lands dared to join the war. Then we will slaughter 100 Beasts Forest and destroy the Forbidden Lands. Without hesitation, the group quickly turned around and rushed towards the eastern 100 Beasts Forest. Normally, when killing demons, everyone was very cautious and did not dare to act recklessly. But today, since the 100 Beasts Forest dared to participate in the battle, they dared to kill until the demon race was terrified. In less than 10 minutes, a huge forest appeared in front of everyone. As soon as Fong Ping and the others arrived in the forest, a huge, ferocious tiger monster leaped into the air, roaring violently. That was the remaining 9th grade demonic beast, the one that guarded the 100 Beasts Forest. Fong Ping and the others did not say a word. At this moment, they had countless powerhouses on their side. Without the 4 Demon Kings, how could 100 Beasts Forest have the strength to resist? Kill. The demon race dares to attack and kill humans. This crime is unforgivable. Kill without mercy. As soon as Fong Ping finished speaking, he swung his saber, splitting a rank 7 monster in half. Without even looking, he charged straight into the 100 Beasts Forest, brandishing his saber and slashing. In a flash, Qin Yaozu appeared above the ferocious tiger demonic beast. His long sword pierced through the void as he charged towards his opponent. I am the 10,000 Demon Royal Court. The Demon King did not have time to say too much. In the next second, Wu Chuan suddenly broke through the void and arrived, roaring, "It's time to kill one for me!" This time, a green light pierced through heaven and earth. A long sword pierced through the void, shattering the space. The long sword pierced through the void and arrived, chopping off the ferocious tiger's head. Seeing that, Chen Yaozu could only put away his sword, saying helplessly, "What's there to snatch? There are more." From the north, dozens of rank 19 have arrived. This time there will be more to kill. What's the rush now? Humph. Wu Chuan humphed. How could he not be anxious? If he did not kill one, He would be too ashamed to face others. Among the 11 powerhouses, other than Wang Qinghai, who was helplessly guarding the old man Jing Tao and the heavily injured phoenix monster, the other 10 were killing in the 100 Beasts forest. Roar. Squeak, 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 howl. Beast roars came one after another. The 100 Beasts forest that had stood in the 7 southern regions for thousands of years was forcefully breached today. The Beast King that stayed was besieged by 2 peak rank, 9 powerhouses, killed in the blink of an eye. Very soon, the 10 people began slaughtering the 100 Beasts forest demons. The sounds of explosions were endless. One by one, the rank 7 and 8 demons that were usually high and mighty were like weeds today. Their corpses were everywhere. The blood-red light soared into the sky. Too many high-ranked demons died in battle, causing the entire 100 Beasts forest to be shrouded in the blood-red light. Thousands of miles away, in the west, when they saw the blood-red light piercing through heaven and earth in the east, the giant eagle monster and the long snake monster that was still alive roared madly. The 100 Beasts forest was breached. Today, the 2 big demon forbidden lands of the 7 southern regions were going to be completely destroyed. Ahead, the Jiao had already led countless demons to war with the demons of the 10,000 Ants Desert. They were slaughtering the demons of the 10,000 Ants Desert. The demon forbidden lands participated in the war for the first time. In the end, before they could achieve anything, the 2 forbidden lands were destroyed. Out of the 10 great demon kings, 6 had already been killed. The remaining 2 big ants were also in a precarious situation. Screech! The eagle's cry was violent and regretful. The demons should not have participated in the war. Today, the demons actually listened to the Green Wolf King's orders and came out of the Forbidden Lands to participate in the war. They thought that the Land of Rebirth was not a threat. Who knew that it would bring disaster upon them? The Forbidden Lands were destroyed in the blink of an eye. The giant eagle monster thought that the Land of Rebirth would not dare to attack the 100 Beasts forest. It really thought so. The Forbidden Lands were the territory of the 10,000 Demon Royal Court. But now the martial artists who were reborn did not care at all. Since they dared to attack, then Fong Ping dared to slaughter the Forbidden Lands. Imperial Sea Mountain. At this moment, the Green Wolf King was completely silent. War King did not say a word either. On the high platform, Ji Yao glanced at God General Jinan. After a while, she said, "Lord Green Wolf King, how's the situation in the 7 southern regions?" She was not a true king. Naturally, she could not see through Imperial Sea Mountain and see the situation inside the 7 southern regions. If the Green Wolf King did not say anything, she would not know. But in total, the 7 southern regions had already invested in the rank 9 army. But now the Bamboo King was still sending God General from all over. This surprised Jiao. Had the war in the 7 southern regions reached this stage? The Green Wolf King ignored her. At this moment, another true king arrived. He came from the Destiny Royal Court and was on good terms with the Ji family. This true king looked indifferent. When he heard Jiao's question, he said softly, "The war is not going well. The changes in the 7 southern regions are too big. The demons in the boundaries have slaughtered the 10,000 Ants Desert. The martial artists who were reborn have slaughtered the 100 Beasts forest. The 7 southern regions, native demon generals and god generals are left now." 5. Ji Yao was stunned. How many native rank 9s were there in the 7 southern regions? There were 18 rank 9s in the cities and 10 in the Forbidden Lands. There were 28 rank 9s in total. Did this mean that 23 rank 9s were killed in a short period of time? This true king counted the Phoenix Monster Beast's death. Right now, the Phoenix Monster Beast's aura was so weak that it could not be sensed. To him, it must have died in battle. The remaining 2 rank 9 ants in the 10,000 Ants Desert were also killed by Jiao and the other demons. 23. In less than half an hour since the start of the war, 23 rank 9s were killed. Even a true king powerhouse was stunned. Ji Yao was stunned for a moment. Then, she said hurriedly, then the martial artists who were reborn. Martial artists who were reborn. This true king smiled faintly. After a while, he said, one of the martial artists who were reborn died in battle. Humph! Green Wolf King suddenly snorted. Not far away, War King suddenly smiled faintly. Sorry, he's not dead yet. King Pingshan, your strength is still a little lacking. Go back and practice more, lest you die a violent death like mysterious Jade True King. This new True King's strength was really not up to par. His sensing ability was very poor. He could not sense that the phoenix was still alive. He could not sense that Zheng Tao was still alive. This was the difference in strength. The other party could only make a rough judgment. As soon as this was said, the true king's expression changed slightly, but he did not speak. If he spoke now, it would be a joke. Since Green Wolf King did not refute, it meant that what War King said was true. 7 southern regions had lost 23 rank 9s in battle. None of the martial artists who were reborn were injured. As for Ji Yao, her expression was strange. So many god generals entered the territory. In the end, 23 of them were killed by the martial artists who were unharmed. What did this mean? Were god continents, god generals, this weak now? This battle was fought with great momentum, but this was the result? If word got out, other than the true king powerhouses in God Continent, everyone else would be shaken. Would they really dare to fight the land of rebirth? There were many god generals in God Continent and the outer territories. In total, there were close to 2,000 rank 9s in the 108 outer territories and cities. There were at least 500 demon god generals in the forbidden rank 9. There were more than 2,500 rank 9s in the outer territories. The inner territories of God Continent had more rank 9s than the outer territories. Of course, it was not that much. Many rank 9s in the outer territories came from the inner territories. In total, there were a few thousand of them. However, God Continent was too big. Was a few thousand god generals a lot? There were so many true kings, so many divine sects and dynasties. There were not many god generals directly under the command of the 2 royal courts. More than 20 were killed in this battle. Now there were close to 80 rank 9 powerhouses in the 7 southern regions. If hundreds of god generals were killed in this battle, God Continent would be in turmoil. In the past few years, too many god generals had died in battle. Sino Nation, Jiao said all of a sudden. King Pingshan fell silent. In the past 2 years, too many god generals had died in the war with Sino Nation. In total, there were probably more than 50. As for Sino Nation, it was funny. So far, only Axe-King had died in battle. With the battle-loss ratio at this point, even the true kings were a little shaken. 50-1. This was the battle-loss ratio of god generals' powerhouses. What about true kings? When the war started, there were dozens of true kings in the land of rebirth. Forget about dozens to one. Even if it was 2-1, 100 true kings would have died in battle. At the level of true kings, they were almost immortal. Was it really worth it? King Pingshan's mind was full of thoughts. He was a powerhouse who had not gone far on the origin path. Once he joined the war, he might really follow in mysterious Jade True King's footsteps. Mysterious Jade True King was not weaker than him. She died in Imperial Sea Mountain the first time she joined the war. After thinking about it, King Pingshan suddenly sent a voice transmission to Green Wolf King. Should we continue? If this goes on, there will be more casualties. Green Wolf, you won't be able to explain it to the royal court. I see that Bamboo King is still transporting rank 9s. Are you summoning true kings to prepare for a true king war? Green Wolf King sent a cold voice transmission. That's the plan. If we lose again in the God Generals War, then we'll start a true king war and invade the 7 southern regions. We might even take this opportunity to invade the land of rebirth. Green Wolf, are you serious? That's right. King Pingshan was silent for a while, then sent a voice transmission. I'm not interested in invading the land of rebirth, nor am I interested in seizing the seed of rebirth. I won't join this war. War King, Martial King, Hades King, Heaven Suppressing King, Sword King, none of them are weak. I've only been a true king for 300 years. I still have a long life. I don't want to die here. Ew. Humph. King Pingshan ignored him and continued. Green Wolf, this war is between the land of rebirth and the Heavenly Plant's royal court. The Heavenly Plant's royal court has always been fighting head-on. Now you're so impatient. Don't you think you've gone overboard? Do you want to drag the Destiny Royal Court into the flames of war? Green Wolf, don't be impulsive. The Royal Court and the True King Palace can still accept God general-level martial artists joining the 7 southern regions. However, you want to drag the entire Royal Court into the flames of war. The other True Kings won't agree. Although there aren't many True Kings in the land of rebirth, there are many top-level True King powerhouses. Think twice. King Pingshan advised. The war was not going well. He could already feel a strong sense of crisis. This war had the tendency of breaking out into a big war. Once the True Kings joined the war, the situation would be completely chaotic. By then, it might attract more and more True Kings to join the war. This time, there might be True Kings who would really fall. He was not strong and did not want to get involved. He did not want to die here either. So what if he conquered the land of rebirth? When a person is dead, everything is empty. Even if the seed of rebirth could really resurrect people, these True Kings could only resurrect those God Generals because the God Generals were their subordinates. If these True Kings died in battle, they would really die. No one would be willing to resurrect a True King and increase their opponents. As soon as he finished speaking, King Pingshan suddenly frowned and said, It seems like someone from the land of rebirth has come again. Green Wolf King noticed it earlier than him. He did not continue the topic just now. Instead, he frowned slightly and said, Sino Nation is so generous, including Fong Ping and Longevity Sword. The number of God Generals participating in the war has reached 24. At this moment, rank 9s entered from the passageway one after another and joined the war. How many rank 9s were there in Sino Nation? There were 48 places on the ranking list. Other than the 5 paragons, there were 23 passageways. There were no rank 9s in the Forbidden Catacombs now. 22 passageways were guarded by rank 9s. That was the 27th. Zhao Xingwu was not included in the list. The remaining 20 were all here. In addition to the 2 rank 8s, Fong Ping and Longevity Sword, there were 22 in total. Including Zheng Tao and Elvision, there were 24 powerhouses who had entered the domain. This was Sino Nation's overwhelming power. Of course, there were still a few rank 9s in Polaris City and the central government who were not on the ranking list. From the looks of it, they might be rushing to join the war soon. Perhaps very soon, there would be as many as 30 rank 9s participating in the war. On the catacomb side, there were about 80 rank 9s in the domain now. Don't forget, there were still a few demons from the Land of Boundaries that were also participating in the war. King Pingshan felt increasingly threatened. It seemed that Sino Nation's King Wu and the others were really going to fight a big war in the 7 southern territories this time. There were not many resurrected God Generals. If they suffered heavy losses, even if the Green Wolf King did not start the war, King Wu and the others would make a move. King Pingshan glanced at the Green Wolf King. Suddenly, he sent a voice transmission to Ji Yao. Leave this place as soon as possible. A battle between true kings might break out here soon. Ji Yao, leave as soon as possible. The Green Wolf King is bent on dragging the royal court into the war. I'm afraid he has other plans. Ji Yao's expression changed slightly. Her father had asked her to come here to check out the situation and see if she could discuss cooperation with Fong Ping. Initially, she thought that she had to be more careful this time. With 5 god generals protecting her, there should be no problems. Who knew that the situation would deteriorate to this point now? 5 god generals? 5 true kings were more or less the same. The 7 southern territories was about to become a slaughterhouse for the god generals. At this moment, the Green Wolf King suddenly sent a voice transmission, informed the other territories to join the war, defeat the land of rebirth. Perhaps this time we can conquer the land of rebirth completely. Ji Yao suddenly snorted coldly, her eyes cold and stern. Green Wolf King, you don't have this right. You're neither the royal court lord nor the true king hall lord. How dare you? At this moment, Ji Yao could not stand it any more. The Green Wolf King actually wanted to start a war between all territories. He wanted to drag the Destiny Royal Court into the flames of war and become the main attacker of the land of rebirth. This was something that the Ji family would never agree to. The Green Wolf King's eyes were cold. King Pingshan said calmly, "Green Wolf, think twice." If he touched Ji Yao, started a war, and dragged the royal court into the flames of war, he would just have to wait for the Life King and Lord Ji's revenge. The Green Wolf King glanced at Ji Yao coldly, but did not mention the other territories attacking together. This was no longer something he could control. However, the 7 southern territories was his territory. He could do whatever he wanted. Even the royal court had no right to control what he did. Chapter 828 100 Beasts Forest. The once powerful demon Forbidden Land was completely destroyed today. Corpses were everywhere. This time, Fong Ping finally had some gains. 82 rank, 7 demon corpses, 11 rank, 8 corpses, 1 rank, 9 corpse. Since the start of the war, they had killed many rank, 9 demons. In the end, this was the only corpse they got, and it was considered complete. However, this was not all. Fong Ping glanced at the interior of 100 Beasts Forest. So many mineral veins. Fong Ping was slightly shocked. The Forbidden Land was indeed a forbidden land. A place that cultivated 5 rank 9s was not a place that lacked energy. There were at least 3 complete mineral veins. The so-called complete mineral veins were in better condition than the one in Skygate City. However, this was not the time to mine. Fong Ping glanced at it. Without looking, he said, "Quickly, Vice-Chancellor Old Chin, let's quickly gather the others and rush to the west. Let's see if we can kill those guys before the others arrive." There were more and more rank 9s in the catacombs. If this went on, although Fong Ping had reinforcements, they would be at a disadvantage sooner or later. Chun Yaozu said, "Quickly, then let's go. This time, Zhang Weiyu and I will see if we can advance. If we can advance, this time forcefully suppress it for a while. Zhang Weiyu and I will not stop until we kill 20 to 30 rank 9s. Having said that, Chun Yaozu added quickly, "Moreover, this time they might not follow the previous rules. If they don't fight at the pinnacle, they might become a joke. Fong Ping, you guys must be careful." Chun Yaozu was full of confidence. He felt that he had a chance to advance this time. However, once he advanced, he might completely fall out with them and break the rules. When the pinnacle battle broke out, who would care about the rule of true kings not fighting? "Take it easy, old man." Fong Ping laughed too. "If you really break through, you've just advanced. If the pinnacle battle breaks out, you'll be in more danger. Let's go." Fong Ping did not care about the mineral veins anymore. After wiping out the Forbidden Land this time, the mineral veins would be left here. He would come back later to dig. This time, there was no need to follow the rules. All the rules were broken. Fong Ping now understood old Zhang's thoughts. He cut off all means of retreat and only bet on one thing. The catacombs dared not completely turn against him at this time. Fong Ping seriously suspected that the catacombs was not willing to start a full-scale war at this time because the 108 passageways were not all opened. Perhaps it had something to do with the fact that the thing they wanted had yet to appear. The seed of rebirth. Perhaps it will only appear after all 108 passageways are opened. Fang Ping suddenly felt a little relieved. There were so many powerhouses in the catacombs. If the seed of rebirth had really appeared, wouldn't the catacombs' powerhouses be worried? Wouldn't they be afraid of humans obtaining it and becoming emperors? But they weren't in a hurry. They waited and endured. Was it really because the outer realm's passageway was unstable? The passage to Mount Royal Sea was still there. If the catacombs' powerhouses really wanted to focus on attacking the Shishan catacombs and attack together, why would they need to attack one by one from the outer domain? They could directly break through the Mount Yuhai passageway, and perhaps they could enter the human world. But they didn't. Maybe it's because it's not worth it. They hadn't even seen anything yet. There was no need to fight to the death. The powerhouses of the catacombs had endured for countless years, waiting for passageway 108 to be fully opened. Perhaps by then, there would be an earth-shattering change. When the seed of rebirth appeared completely, perhaps everyone would be able to discover it. It would not be like now, where almost no one knew what the seed of rebirth was. Who told them? Who spread the news about the seed of rebirth? So that these catacombs' powerhouses did not doubt it at all and believed it to be true? Fang Ping used the flight step swiftly while thinking about this question. This news was definitely not groundless. It concerned hundreds of true kings. Some of these true kings had been planning for thousands of years. If the news was not confirmed, these people would be stupid to do this. Would there be any benefits in attacking and destroying Earth? To the true kings, Earth was nothing, but they still did it. That meant that they had confirmed the authenticity of the news, or that it was told to them by a powerhouse that they all believed. It was very clear that the seed of rebirth existed. That was why they did it. To be able to make hundreds of true kings believe. Ordinary people don't have this qualification. After about another 10 minutes, both sides met. Old Qin, Guardian Wu. Everyone greeted one after another. Li Daong said loudly, Fang Ping, the minister, has given orders. Today, we will use all of Sino Nation's strength to fight the catacombs in Magic City. We won't stop until one of us is dead. At the back of the crowd, Zhang Weiyu also entered at this moment. He laughed loudly and said, Today, West and South Guardian Manors will listen to MCMAU's orders. Fang Ping, today, MCMAU is the leader. You guys decide how to fight. This time, Sino Nation will not hesitate to give up other passageways. We must gain the biggest advantage in Magic City catacombs, using all of the nation's strength to fight this battle. If they lost Sino Nation, then they would conquer 7 Southern Territory. If they did not lose Sino Nation, then they would conquer 7 Southern Territory. Or they would completely abandon 7 Southern Territory, but they would also destroy this place and make this territory wasteland. Fang Ping looked around. He saw many familiar faces and many powerhouses. Zhang Weiyu and the rest had actually arrived. Kong Lingyuan, an Origin Dao powerhouse who was in charge of the catacombs, had actually given up guarding and rushed here. There was also Star Town. A large number of powerhouses had also arrived. Fang Ping suddenly felt a little out of breath. In this battle, if these people died in Magic City catacombs, then Sino Nation's elite class below the pinnacle would be wiped out. The large number of pinnacle seeds accumulated in the neo-martial arts era would be obliterated. Fang Ping looked in the direction of Imperial Sea Mountain. There were currently close to 70 auras piercing through the heavens and earth. They were about 600 li away from them. The more than 60 people who came in had joined up with the 4 god generals under Ji Yao's command. Almost 70 people had been gathered. In the west, the 15 auras no longer cared about Jiao and the rest. Instead, they took a detour and went to the side to converge with those people. Once they converged, there would be more than 80 rank 9 martial artists. And here, even including the crippled Zheng Tao, there were only 24 people. Using the strength of 24 people to fight more than 80 rank 9s. It was not that they could not fight. Zhang Weiyu, Qin Yaozu and the rest were all masters who could fight 2 against 3. However, if they fought like this, then the human casualties would be huge. In the end, more than half of the 24 powerhouses might die in battle. This was a loss that Sino Nation could not afford. Fang Ping did not speak. Instead, he quickly condensed about 30 lumps of imperishable substance. He threw 1 to each person and handed the rest to Wu Quishan. He said loudly, "Everyone, use them when you need to. We can fight, but it's important to stay alive. More than half of Sino Nation's Grandmaster powerhouses are gathered here. If we're injured, it'll be a national tragedy." After saying that, Fang Ping immediately said, "Go and meet up with Jiao and the rest. There's still 5 rank 9 monsters over there. Let the demons fight. The demons will be the vanguard. These demons are not afraid of death. Now that the 2 major forbidden lands have been destroyed, they have already made their move. There's no way out. We have to fight even if we don't want to." As everyone spoke, they were already rushing toward the west. More than 20 powerhouses, auras, swept across the city. This time, they ignored the city below. Some rank 7 and 8 powerhouses in the city saw them flying over and fled as fast as they could. They could not stay in the city. In the battle on Zhang Tao's side, the rank 9 battle earlier, they destroyed a city directly, wiped out the invaders, and killed all the high ranks in the city. Although these people did not feel it clearly, they knew that some people were caught in the crossfire. At this moment, how would they dare to stay where they were? Rank 7 and 8 martial artists fled as far as they could. It was fine if it was just a single rank 9s, but if there were several rank 19s, they would not dare to intercept them now. Although the true king had given such an order earlier, no one dared to come and seek death now. Fang Ping frowned as he performed the flight step. For the battle to reach this stage, it had already far exceeded his expectations. However, there were too many enemies. This could not go on. More than 80 rank 9s, and there were still rank 9s entering the domain. How to fight? More than 20 people. Even if Zhang Weiyu said that there would be reinforcements later on, how many could they possibly send? He did not want to fight a war with heavy casualties. There should not be heavy casualties in a war where he, Fang Ping, was around. His remaining 800 million wealth points were almost used up now. From start to finish, he had invested another 4 to 500 million wealth points into it. The House of Gold had even self-destructed. In addition to the more than 1 billion wealth points that were used to get out of the restricted zone, this battle was almost used up. With such heavy losses, if a large number of rank 9s were killed or injured, would this battle be worth it? After thinking about it, Fang Ping suddenly asked, "How many weak rank 9 powerhouses are there?" As soon as he said that, many people in the crowd looked at him. Fang Ping did not care so much. He looked around and said quickly, "Instructor Li, Minister Wang, Senior Tian, Minister Xia." Finally, Fang Ping looked at Lu Zhen. He did not expect Lu Zhen to come in at this time. However, Fang Ping still said quickly, "Including old Lu and me, there are a total of 6 people. All of their auras are about the same as weak rank 9s. If the 6 of us hide our auras and go to Mount Royal Sea now, pretend to be catacombs reinforcements." As soon as he said that, Zhang Weiyu's expression changed drastically. He said, "No, the true king is watching the battle. He will not give you such a chance." At this time, Fang Ping actually wanted to infiltrate the enemy's camp. How risky would that be? Would the true king not know whether they were reinforcements or not? Once the voice was transmitted, the 6 of them would be surrounded and killed by more than 80 people. They would die for sure. Fang Ping took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "Then let Senior Warlord disrupt the situation. Just like last time, both sides will not watch the battle anymore, letting us kill each other. Let the true king become blind and deaf. The 6 of us will bring the avatars of the peerless powerhouses and enter from the back disguised as companions." Fong Ping quickly calculated whether his current wealth points were enough or not. If he added one more person, he would need to pay 10 times the price. Fong Ping himself was 10 million points per minute to disguise his aura. If he added 5 people, it would be 1 million points per minute. In an hour, that would be 60 million points. The price of 5 people is too high. Actually, we don't need so many people. Maybe we can reduce it. Actually, just to be safe, Old Man Li and I are enough. If it was really him and Old Man Li, then the consumption would be negligible. When Fong Ping thought of this, he suddenly changed his strategy and said quickly, I will go with Instructor Li. No more disguises, but assassinations. As long as we are fast, we can kill one person in an instant and leave immediately. We have this confidence. I will self-detonate my mentality to intimidate one person. Instructor Li will use his sword to kill one person. We will lead them in circles, mess up their deployment, and disperse their forces. The more Fong Ping spoke, the smoother he became. He said, quickly, that's what we should do. That's the only way we can take them down with the least amount of effort. Also, if everyone has brought avatars, please give some to us. Let's see if we can kill more people. As he spoke, Zhang Weiyu suddenly said, Fong Ping, it's best not to use avatars this time. The battle of the peerless powerhouses is about to break out. Other than Minister Zhang, it's best not to use the others to prevent the decline of some of the peerless powerhouses' combat strength. The cost of killing a few more rank 9s is far less than the cost of using avatars. If the battle of the peerless powerhouses did not happen, they could recover after a period of recuperation. Zhang Weiyu would not say this. However, if the battle of the peerless powerhouses was imminent, using avatars at this time could easily cause the death of the peerless powerhouses if they were not careful. Sino Nation could not afford this price. Fong Ping's expression changed slightly. Careless. Really careless. Previously, he asked Jiang Chao and the others to come. At that time, he thought that if a great battle broke out here, even if the peerless powerhouses participated in the battle, it would be limited to old Zhang and the others. But now it might not be so. For example, people like Elder Ancestor Su and the others might rush over to participate in the battle. If they used their avatars during the battle, causing their mentality to be deficient and stagnant, then it would be very troublesome. Fong Ping took a deep breath, looking at Zhang Weiyu and nodding heavily. The others might be embarrassed to say this. The few powerhouses in Constellation City might not be able to say this. But Zhang Weiyu's reminder was right. At this time, they should not count on using the peerless powerhouses' avatars to kill the enemy. As for old Zhang's, it could be used. Now Fong Ping felt that old Zhang did not care about the shortcoming. Then Instructor Li and I will assassinate the enemy and disrupt their deployment. Try not to split up. Once you do, then it'll be troublesome. As he spoke, Zhang Weiyu suddenly transmitted his voice. Minister Zhang said that the cat you saw earlier is a cat from the bounded domain. At the crucial moment, let LV Zhen appear and let that cat attack. It's hiding underground now, using the water of the Forbidden Sea to conceal its aura. Minister and the other party have reached a certain agreement. By paying a certain price, the other party can attack in secret. Fong Ping's pupils constricted. He transmitted his voice quickly in Hope City. Not only that, it is now opening up roads everywhere, pouring seawater into it and concealing its aura. I'm not too sure where it is exactly, but pay attention and investigate. It might be where there are underground rivers. It shouldn't be too far away from us. Zhang Wei spoke quickly. Also, don't trust it completely. No one knows what the powerhouses in the bounded domain want to do. Try to guard against it. Also, Minister asked me to tell you, if you have the ability to attract a few hundred rank 9s here, he will attack at the crucial moment, annihilate these powerhouses, and completely break the rule of the peerless powerhouses not attacking. Of course, that's only if it's worth it. If there aren't enough rank 9s, humans won't take the initiative to break these rules, because it's more beneficial to us. Fong Ping was shocked. Old Zhang was really prepared to do something big this time. He actually wanted him to attract a few hundred rank 9s for him to kill. This old man was really ruthless and evil. I understand. Then the other passageways. Don't worry about it. Prepare to give up. Minister said so. That's right. Understood. Fong Ping did not waste any more time. His speed was extremely fast. From afar, his mentality erupted, and his pressure shook the sky. He roared, "Brother Jiao, come quickly!" In the next moment, from afar, the Jiao, who was holding a gigantic energy stone in its mouth, leaped into the air, looking at Fong Ping. With a crunch, it swallowed the huge energy stone into its stomach, a hint of helplessness in its big eyes. "Why did you call me? I'm looting the spoils of war. Chef actually brought people here. Could it be that he felt that he had broken his promise and was looking for him to settle the score? Didn't he just not attack the city? But he also destroyed the 10,000 ants desert, and it was so easy." No, the Jiao suddenly realized that it was in trouble. It was so easy. Could it be that Chef thought that it was too comfortable and was unhappy? It destroyed the 10,000 ants desert this time. It was really quite easy. Hundreds of demons first surrounded and killed 3 big ants, then 2 rank 9 ants that were split up. It was very easy. The demons in the bounded domain did not suffer too great losses. Only 30-odd rank 7 demons and 4 to 5 rank 8 demons died. At the thought of this, the Jiao's golden body suddenly dimmed. The originally arrogant Jiao became miserable in the next moment, like a big dog that fell into a mud pit, battered and exhausted. There were even some cracks on its golden body. I was beaten up badly. In the distance, Fong Ping and the others looked sluggish. What was going on? Chun Yaozu and the others did not understand the Jiao, and thought that it was seriously injured, so they did not think much of it. But Fong Ping knew it. This big dog, back in Skygate City, pretending to be pitiful. Anyway, if there were benefits, it would do it. It did not care about its reputation. If there were no benefits, it was usually not willing to do it. Fong Ping could not be bothered with it. His mentality erupted to the extreme, and he quickly roared, "We have killed dozens of rank 9 powerhouses. Now that the restricted zone has sent reinforcements, our reinforcements will need some time to arrive. If you do not want to be annihilated by the restricted zone powerhouses, come and meet up quickly. Do you really think that after destroying the 10,000 ants desert, those people will let you go? If you and I split up, you will definitely die. Think about your choice." Fong Ping was not worried at all that they would not meet up. If they split up now, as long as Fong Ping and the others left and did not stay in the west, they could be quickly annihilated by those powerhouses. Since the Jiao had already made its move, now it was not about destroying the 10,000 ants desert, but standing on the side of the humans. This kind of traitor was even more hateful. The Jiao was slightly stunned. What he said seemed to be right, unless before it could finish its thought, Fong Ping seemed to know what it was thinking and shouted again, "It's too late to retreat to the bounded domain now. This time the 7 southern regions have gathered hundreds of rank 9s. If we are defeated, the bounded domain will no longer be a paradise. When the time comes, when the rank 9s enter the bounded domain, you will not be able to escape." True kings could not enter the bounded domain, but rank 9s did not have that many restrictions. The Jiao's giant eyes blinked. Boarded the pirate ship? That seemed to be the case. If they retreated now, Chef and the others would be defeated, and it would be doomed. If they did not retreat, they would have to fight many rank 9s. At this time, the 2 sides were about to converge. The Jiao was a little troubled. Chef said that they would win for sure, and in fact they did win for sure. The other party quickly killed the local powerhouses of the 7 southern regions. The Jiao did not expect that the restricted zone would have so many rank 9s as reinforcements. Now that the battle had come to this, it was feeling a little helpless. It would have been better if it had not attacked, but now that it had attacked and killed the giant ants, It was obvious that it would not be let off. Roar! The Jiao suddenly roared. In the next moment, the demons in the 10,000 ants desert, who were still devouring the bodies of the demon beasts, rose into the air. At this moment, there were less than 100 rank 7s, and there were only a few rank 8s. Seeing this, Fang Ping shouted again, "The 2 demon restricted zones have been destroyed!" Brother Jiao, the top powerhouses of the humans, Guardian King, Martial King, Battle King, Pluto, have unanimously decided to confer you the title of the 7 Southern Regions Demon King. After this battle, you will be the 7 Southern Regions Demon King. Humans will manage the humans, and the Demon King will manage the demons. There will be no encroachment. Demon King, conferment of the kings. The Jiao's giant eyes blinked again, feeling that it was so awesome. Demon King conferred by the kings? Why did it feel like it was similar to the Lord of the Royal Court? If that was the case, would it be the number 1 demon under the kings in the future? At this moment, the demons in the bounded domain were all roaring, somewhat agitated and excited. Be it humans or demons, true monarchs were supreme beings. At this moment, Fang Ping had brought the conferment of the human kings. Although it was not the kings of the catacombs, to them it was similar. The golden-horned beast king was conferred a title by the kings. This was the first time something like this had happened in the 7 southern regions. At this moment, a token appeared in Fang Ping's hand. He tossed it over and shouted, "Jiao, are you willing to accept this order? This is the heaven-suppressing order, the order of the top human, Guardian King." The Guardian King had killed many true king powerhouses and was invincible. If you accept it, the Jiao will be the demon lord of the 7 southern regions. In the future, the Jiao will be free to roam the human world. Fang Ping did not mention the consequences if he did not accept it. However, the demons were still shocked. The top human true king, an existence that had killed many true kings. The land of rebirth could compete with the divine land because of these top powerhouses. If he did not accept this order, there would be a lot to say. This would be a slap in the face of the human kings. The Jiao was also helpless. Chef had already thrown it at him. Should he accept it? If he did not accept it, it would be so inappropriate. If he accepted it, Chef was obviously asking him to do the hard work. He was not stupid. Forget it. Let the other stupid demons do the work. He was the king. He could just command. The Jiao did not waste any more words. Soon, the token was sucked into the air by the Jiao, disappearing in the blink of an eye. No one knew if it was stored in the Jiao's stomach. Greetings, Jiao. At this moment, the demons all prostrated on the ground. It was perfectly justifiable for the kings to confer their titles. When Fang Ping said Jiao King, the golden-horned beast king became a thing of the past. From now on, it would be the Jiao King, a title given by the human kings. As the demons paid their respects, Jiang Yuanhua sent a voice transmission to Li Xinmin, asking, "Does your family's elder ancestor have the heaven-suppressing order?" Li Xinmin was the Li family patriarch of Star City. After a while, he said, "The elder ancestor has the token, not the heaven-suppressing order, but it does seem to belong to the elder ancestor. As for the conferment, the elder ancestor hasn't been back for so many years. Where would he find the time to do this?" Stop joking. The Li family had not seen the heaven-suppressing king for many years. The elder ancestor would not have the time to confer the title of Demon King on a foreign demon. Fang Ping's lies could only fool the demons. Fang Ping did not care about this. At this time, including the 5 demon kings himself and Old Man Li, there were 29 rank, 9 combatants on the human side. Zheng Tao was recovering rapidly. "Instructor Li and I will sneak over now. Everyone be careful." He had just finished speaking when Zhang Weiyu suddenly said, "Me, Old Chen, Wu Chuan, and Wu Quishan, the 4 of us will act alone. If the 4 of us join forces, we are stronger than the 3 from the Sky Plant's royal court back then. We can even fight a newly ascended paragon. They will act together. We will hunt down these powerhouses." The four powerhouses had made great strides on Origin Path. In this battle, perhaps all of them had hopes of advancing to the Paragon. If the four of them joined forces, they would be stronger than the Li Zhu trio back then. They were invincible existences below the Paragon. 8 to 10 rank 9s would not be able to do anything to them at all. Fang Ping thought for a while, nodded quickly, then turned around and instructed the Jiao to act together with the humans. Together with Old Man Li. He disappeared from the spot swiftly. He and Old Man Li would be assassins. Messing up the rank 9 company with dozens of people would be like how they dealt with Feng Mieshing and the rest back then at the king's battleground, killing them until they collapsed. As soon as he left, Zhang Weiyu and the rest quickly concealed their auras and hurried over there. With the four powerhouses joining forces, if Fang Ping and these two fellows really wanted the other party to split up, then as long as the number of people was less than 5, they could swiftly take down the other party, nibble away at the other party, and then eliminate them. He just did not know if there would be powerhouses on the Catacombs Divine Generals ranking who would come here this time. The powerhouses on the Divine Generals ranking were extremely strong. They should not be underestimated. Zhang Weiyu even thought of the Right God General. Back then, he had actually fought with the Right God General, but at that time he was not the Right God General's opponent. He did not know if this trio would come this time. The three of them, Li, Hua, and Gu, were also humanity's biggest opponents back then. If the true king did not appear, these 3 people could look down on everyone. Among the humans below the Paragon, Zhang Tao, Li Zhan, and Nan Yunue could originally be their match. However, Zhang Tao was the first to advance, and Li Zhan was about to advance. These 3 people were invincible, creating chaos many times. If Li Zhan did not cripple them when he broke through, many of the current human rank 9 might have died in their hands. One of the trio is dead, and Li Zhu is not coming. Will the Right God General come this time? I really want to see for myself. Zhang Weiyu was looking forward to it. Perhaps only by fighting with such a powerhouse could he advance to the Paragon. However, even if he did not come, this time was enough. Back then, Zhang Tao also fought more than 10 rank 9 powerhouses. In the end, he killed all the powerhouses and achieved the Paragon. This is the path of the Paragon. Back then, Zhang Tao said that he reached the Paragon after a nap. However, that was also built on the foundation of a great battle. In one battle, he killed more than 10 rank 9s with his strength alone. This was the true invincibility below the Paragon. In today's world, no one could do this. Not to mention that more than 10 of them were all Origin Dao. Even if they were weak rank 9s, Zhang Weiyu and the rest might not be able to fight against 10 weak rank 9s. 4 or 5 were still possible, but 10, not only did they defeat them, but they also had to kill all of them. This was not something he could do. In the next moment, Zhang Weiyu thought of Fang Ping. This kid was advancing fast now, similar to Zhang Tao's invincibility in the same rank. Could it be that he was another martial king? However, this was a good thing for humanity. Looking around, the 3 people beside him all looked determined. Zhang Weiyu sighed again. Perhaps this time, Zhang Tao wanted everyone to fight in this battle, with the intention of letting them take the opportunity to step into the Paragon. If they won this battle, with the invincibility, maybe everyone could really advance. For hundreds of years, humans had not fought such a big battle, and they had not killed so many rank 9s. /4_M. Chapter 829. Imperial Sea Mountain. Beside Warlord, there was one more person. It was the Su family's patriarch. His hair and beard were all white, and his sword Qi towered into the sky. Old Su, you came pretty fast. Warlord chuckled. He had the best relationship with the Su family's patriarch, and their strength was similar. Now that the Su family's patriarch was here, he heaved a sigh of relief. There were already 5 true monarchs on the other side. If no one came to help, he would have to hide first. The Su family's patriarch nodded slightly and looked at the Green Wolf King's group. His expression was cold, and he said indifferently, "A few brats are jumping around. You gathered so many people. Do you really want to fight with us?" "Sword King, now that you're here, there's no one left in the 11 southern regions." It wasn't the Green Wolf King alone. The one who spoke wasn't the Green Wolf King, but the Pine Monarch. King Pine's territory was the Tiannan Catacombs in the 11 southern regions. The Tiannan Catacombs used to be guarded by the Yang family's old ancestor. Now, the Su family's old ancestor was in charge of 2 regions. The Tiannan Catacombs and the West Sea Catacombs of the 12 southern regions were under his control. Now that the Sword King was here, there were no humans guarding the 2 regions. The Su family's patriarch said indifferently, "Songbin, a piece of trash like you dares to talk back to me? You can go now. So what if I give you the 2 regions? Let's see if you dare to go." Humph. The Pine Monarch's expression was cold and ugly. Warlord saw this and smiled. "Old Su, why bother with these pieces of trash? Let King Qian, King Ming, and the others come. What's the use, even if all of you trash come? Arrogant." The Green Wolf King said coldly, "Warlord, you'll pay the price." "Who do you think you are?" Warlord said playfully, "Don't look at how happy you are. In our eyes, you're just an idiot courting death. Don't worry, you'll know today that some people aren't people you can afford to offend. I'll wait for you to call people and see how many you can call. I want to see if Fate Monarch and the others will go to the King battlefield or come here. If they don't come, you pieces of trash, just you wait. I'm just too lazy to kill you now." Just as the Green Wolf King was about to reply, a figure wearing a crown and a yellow robe appeared in the next instant. "King Lord Ji." On the side, the true kings all called out. Although Ji Hong had just become a true monarch, he was the lord of the royal court. At the very least, he was nominally the leader of the Hall of True Monarchs. Furthermore, his father was a Fate monarch, and the Ji clan was the strongest faction in the royal court. Ji Hong nodded slightly. At that moment, Ji Yao also let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like his father had also received the news. 5 divine generals escorting him had now become a joke. If he wasn't a true king, he wouldn't have any sense of existence here. Not to mention her. Even Jinan, an expert of the origin path, couldn't say anything. The moment Ji Hong arrived, he glanced below the high platform and sighed softly at the 30-odd divine generals gathered once more. This time, the Azure Wolf King gathered the surrounding divine generals. The 7 southern regions shared a border with Destiny Royal Court. More than 30 of the divine generals that had been sent here were from Destiny Royal Court. More than 30 people had gathered, and most of them were from Destiny Royal Court. This time, Destiny Royal Court had mobilized more than 50 divine generals. "Azure Wolf King, isn't it inappropriate for you to send all the lords of the surrounding 17 royal cities here?" Ji Hong glanced at the Azure Wolf King, a warm smile on his face. The city lords of the 17 surrounding royal cities were all brought here by him. 360 royal cities with a foundation of Destiny Royal Court. 360 royal city lords were also the foundation of Destiny Royal Court. These powerhouses had not only mobilized their direct divine generals, but they had also enlisted the royal city lords. This was overstepping their boundaries, at least without the royal court's orders. These true monarchs had no right to mobilize the Castellan powerhouses. The Azure Wolf King said indifferently, "Kill Fang Ping." The 4 halls of true monarchs have given the order. Fang Ping is currently in the 7 southern regions. Does the Lord think it's inappropriate to mobilize powerhouses to kill Fang Ping? Ji Hong chuckled. There's nothing inappropriate about it. However, the royal city lords aren't directly under the Hall of True Monarchs. Before this happened, shouldn't you have informed me? I forgot. Ji Hong laughed and lamented. The Azure Wolf King is as straightforward as ever. However, I still want to say something. In the war with the Land of Rebirth, Destiny Royal Court isn't the main attacker. Now that the mystic Jade Monarch has fallen, the Royal Court should be recuperating. Also, the 100 Kings Conference is imminent. Now that we're fighting with the Land of Rebirth, has the Green Wolf King considered something? As Ji Hong spoke, he said indifferently, "Also, if I remember correctly, the Green Wolf King has been a true monarch for more than 700 years. Before becoming a true monarch, you've been guarding the King Wars." The Azure Wolf King frowned. "What do you mean, Lord?" Ji Hong sighed. "I don't want to guess or think about it. The Green Wolf King is the cornerstone of the royal court. When has the Ji family ever neglected the Wolf King? The 7 southern regions belong to the Wolf King, and the Wolf King is divided into 12 royal cities. Among all the true monarchs, the Wolf King's position is high, second only to a few true monarchs' powerhouses." The Green Wolf King frowned and said nothing. Beside him, King Pingshan glanced at the Green Wolf King with a strange expression. I guessed wrong. Previously, he thought that the Green Wolf King seemed to have gone crazy. He even thought that this fellow had reached an agreement with some people from the Sky Plant's royal court. But now, when Ji Hong said that this fellow had been guarding the king wars 700 years ago, King Pingshan's heart was suddenly in turmoil. What did that mean? Was the second king already planning something? Could it be that the second king's men were in the true king hall now, dragging the kings of God Continent into the vortex of war, using Fong Ping as an excuse to mobilize a large number of God generals to participate in the war? The God generals fell, and the King Wars broke out. As a result, God Continent and the Land of Rebirth fell into a quagmire of war. At this moment, who benefited? God Continent was not prepared to start a war with the Land of Rebirth's true monarchs, at least not now. This time, however, things were getting out of hand. Some of the true monarchs were agitated too, rushing over one after another. Some of the true monarchs who held grudges against Fong Ping were also rushing over. Where's the Bamboo King? King Pingshan suddenly thought of the Bamboo King. This fellow had been cooperating. Was it the Sky Plant's royal court's instruction, or did he have other plans? He was adding fuel to the fire. Both of them wanted a large-scale king wars to break out here. The Green Wolf King. Is he really the second king's man? King Pingshan suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. How many of such people were there? Those old monarchs from the Demon Emperor calendar were actually planning something too. Even though they were dead, they did not give up. Were they preparing to stage a comeback? Also, what kind of provocation did the Land of Rebirth receive this time? They were actually pouring in their military forces like crazy. Based on the past situation, the Land of Rebirth would have chosen to give up and return to the ground instead of continuing the war in the 7 southern regions. Moreover, there were true kings of the Land of Rebirth gathering here one after another. Both the War King and the Sword King had arrived. Rumor had it that the Martial King was outside the passageway and could arrive at any time. The 3 powerful true kings were all here. As he was thinking, in the next moment, another sword soared into the sky. Greetings, elder ancestors. In the blink of an eye, a powerhouse in a military uniform with a shaved head flew over. His military boots were shiny, and his expression was extremely cold. The Netherworld King had arrived. On the True King combat ranking given by Zhang Tao, the War King, the Netherworld King, and the Sword King were all in the top 30. They were all peak-level powerhouses who had gone a long way in the Origin Dao. However, it seemed like there were not enough true kings gathered here. King Pingshan was a weak, peak-level powerhouse. Just as he was thinking about it, more people arrived. Greetings, Maple King. Greetings, King Hua. King Huai is here too. King 100 Mountain is here too. King Pingshan had already sensed the coming of a shocking conspiracy. What were these people trying to do? The Maple King and the 100 Mountain King had arrived. These people were also extremely powerful, true king powerhouses. Putting aside the Maple King, who was suspected to have taken the second path. The 100 Mountain King was also a peak-level true king. One of the paths he took was more than 5,000 meters, maybe more. On the peak-level combat ranking, the Maple King ranked 17th, the 100 Mountain King ranked 18th, and Li Jinsai only ranked 21st. As for heavenly plants, Royal Court's King Hua, he ranked 26th as well. These people were the strongest true monarchs under the palace master of the True Monarch Palace. No one dared to rank the true king powerhouses. King Pingshan also did not know about the peak-level combat ranking that old Zhang had created. However, he could more or less sense the strength of a true king. These people were not people he could compare to. In just a short while, a large number of peak-level true king powerhouses had gathered on both sides. Apart from the masters of the Grotto Heavens, there were 7 people in the top 30, including Zhang Tao. King Pingshan glanced at King Huai, who had just arrived. This idiot was here too? Was this guy here to die? King Huai had become a true king for a shorter time than him, and he had been jumping around. This time, if a battle between the true kings really broke out, this guy was probably the weakest. The probability of him being killed on the spot was very high. As for Jihong, his father was still alive. Even if the martial artists of the Land of Rebirth wanted to kill, they would not kill Jihong first. Whether Jihong participated in the battle or not was a problem. At this moment, there were already 10 true king powerhouses in the catacombs gathered here. There were only 3 people on the opposite side. Including Zhang Tao, there were only 4 people. However, everyone looked solemn. They had no intention of starting a battle now. 10 people against 4 people. Among them, there were powerful true kings like King Maple and King 100 Mountains. However, these people were not confident that they could take down these 4 powerhouses. King Maple could not be bothered to say anything to Warlord and the rest. As soon as he arrived, he quickly sensed around and frowned slightly. He did not see Fong Ping. Could that be asterisk starred be hiding his aura again? This little be asterisk starred had provoked him time and time again, causing him to embarrass himself and even spoiling his plans. This time, he really wanted to kill Fong Ping. Unlike the others who had other motives, he was not quite the same. Among the crowd, many people had their own motives, but he really wasn't. Among the people, he was the one who wanted to kill Fong Ping the most. What are you guys still doing? Go to the 7 southern territories, quickly, gather everyone, and kill Fong Ping. Bring Fong Ping's head to see me, and you will be rewarded handsomely. King Maple said to the rank 9s below the high platform, and said, "That little be asterisk starred's hiding ability is extraordinary. Be careful of his sneak attack. Gather everyone and crush all the revived martial artists in the 7 southern regions. Kill them all. Let's see if he will show himself." As he spoke, King Maple frowned. Damn it. Why is there my aura overflowing? He had felt the mentality turbulence earlier, and he knew that his clones had been used. But what he sensed now was that his clones did not seem to have any achievements. He could sense if he had killed someone or not. Not long had passed. His clone's aura had not completely overflowed. Damn it! King Maple cursed in his heart suddenly. Useless, using his clones, and actually failing to kill any of the resurrected martial artists. What a disgrace! As he spoke, Green Wolf King suddenly transmitted his voice. King Maple, Fong Ping is hard to kill. The Land of Resurrection is still recruiting God general martial artists into the territory. They may not be able to kill Fong Ping. Since King Maple is here, with King Maple's strength, why don't we attack the 7 southern territories forcefully? Destroy a territory no matter how Fong Ping hides. He will definitely die. King Maple's expression changed slightly. Attack forcefully? There were many true kings on the other side, all powerhouses. Attack forcefully now. Green Wolf King lamented. We can't give the Land of Resurrection any more time. The Land of Resurrection has been accumulating for 100 years, and more powerhouses are about to become true kings. If we let this go on, Divine Land will be in danger. King Maple also transmitted his voice. Even so, this is extremely difficult. Although there are 10 true kings here, including you and me, how many of them are willing to fight with the Netherworld King and the rest? Unless Green Wolf King has the confidence to convince Life King to join forces with us and attack the 7 southern territories together. That's not true. King Maple is powerful. In my opinion, King Maple can defeat War King. As for the others, as long as a few true kings join forces, it will be enough. We are not here to kill these true king powerhouses, but to enter the territory and kill Fong Ping and the rest. These true kings discussed animatedly. At the same time, on Ji Yao's side, Ji Hong shielded the surroundings and said, "The 7 southern territories matter has gone out of control. Yao, leave as soon as possible. Father has to stay here and wait for the follow-up." Ji Yao hurriedly said, "Father, Green Wolf King, Green Wolf King." Ji Hong's expression changed slightly. He's either related to Li Zhu or King Qian, or he's on the second king's side. This person has always kept a low profile. Father and your king ancestor didn't pay much attention to him. Only today did we notice something unusual. This person's purpose is unknown, but I'm afraid he wants to start a war between kings. Ji Yao gritted her teeth and suddenly said, "Father, why don't we let King Ancestor?" Ji Hong's expression froze. His daughter. How dare she? She actually wanted to let the Life King fight the True King powerhouses. This was impossible in the past. However, in the next moment, Ji Yao suddenly said, "No, that's not good. Father, why don't you instigate them to start a war too? Green Wolf King and 100 Mountain King have always been at odds with our Ji family. This time, just like the time when they schemed against Mystic Jade, True King, we should take this opportunity to get rid of them. I'll see if I can contact the Land of Rebirth and kill these 2 True King powerhouses. The Land of Rebirth might be happy to kill these 2 True King powerhouses too. This is beneficial to them. There are many True Kings here. Don't talk nonsense." Ji Hong suddenly felt a chill in his heart. His daughter was too bold. True monarchs were supreme existences. 100 Mountain King was the top True King of the royal court. It was unbelievable that his daughter wanted to kill these 2 powerhouses. Ji Yao, however, did not care about this. She lowered her head and continued, "Father, it's not good to make a move. I don't have to worry. I can enter the 7 southern territory and contact Fong Ping. He definitely has a way to communicate with the True King of Rebirth." Fong Ping attracted a few True Kings to protect him in the land of King Wars. Martial King, War King, and Hades King should be close to him. If I can convince Fong Ping, then this war between True Kings can be fought. Father, the stronger they are, the more threatening they are. 100 Mountain King has always wanted to replace King Ancestor's position as the Hall Master. Green Wolf King also has bad intentions this time. Also, there are a few True Kings who are at odds with our Ji family. Why don't we summon them all together and kill them all? This will solve the problem once and for all. Ji Hong felt a chill in his heart. Cold air rushed up. His naive daughter in the past had calmly said that she had killed a few True Kings. They were True Kings of Destiny Royal Court. This was unbelievable. Ji Yao saw that her father did not speak and continued. Also, Destiny Royal Court looks stronger than Sky Plant's Royal Court. They only have 49 True Kings, while Destiny Royal Court originally had 54 True Kings. Father became a True King and Mystic Jade True King died, so they still had 54. We have 5 more than them. This makes Sky Plant's Royal Court very wary. This time, 100 Mountain King and a few others died. Many True Kings of Destiny Royal Court died one after another. This can also numb Sky Plant's Royal Court and make them think that we are nothing. Also, this way, we can also reach a tacit understanding with the True Kings of the Land of Rebirth. They will no longer pay attention to us and continue to focus on Sky Plant's royal court. Ji Yao spoke for a while before finally saying, also, King Ancestor. Yao thinks that King Ancestor doesn't need to be so anxious. King Ancestor doesn't know how strong the two true kings are now. Yao thinks that it's better to wait and see. Yao Ji Hong's expression was complicated. Was this really his daughter? Had she been replaced? Why did she feel so unfamiliar? Ji Yao lifted her head. Her expression was also complicated. She said, I want to become a king lord. I want to become a true king too. Before King Father came, Green Wolf King scolded me at every turn. His murderous intent was boiling. He even wanted to kill me. King Father sent God generals. Green Wolf King sent God generals into the realm without asking me. I didn't dare to question him. King Father, if they were alive, would they allow me to become a king lord? The Ji family has 3 true kings. Who could agree to that? We must first stabilize the internal situation to fend off external enemies. If the internal situation is unstable when the war comes in the future, how will we lead the kings of the royal court? Ji Yao took a deep breath. Her tone was solemn. So this is an opportunity. Everyone wants a war between true kings. Yao thinks that the land of rebirth seems to want it too. If that's the case, there will definitely be a war. Then let the situation be more favorable to the Ji family and not the other true kings. My daughter and Fong Ping are working together. This is the most important bond. To show my sincerity, maybe I can help the land of rebirth win the war between god generals. Ji Hong's expression was solemn. Ji Yao gritted her teeth. After a while, she said, King Father, please send another 5 God Realm powerhouses to escort me into the 7 Southern Territory with Uncle Ji Nan. I will contact the previous 4 commanders and help the land of rebirth kill the powerhouses. It's too obvious. Ji Hong sighed. Ji Yao didn't say a word. It was not obvious. His daughter had always been a failure. This time was no exception. Moreover, in the end, the Ji family's 10 god generals were completely annihilated, who dared to say that the Ji family did it on purpose, including Uncle Ji Nan. His daughter was captured. The Ji family secretly exchanged a large amount of resources in exchange for his daughter's life, as long as it was not spread out and deliberately leaked to some true kings, who would dare to believe that the Ji family would plot against everyone at such a price. However, in this way, the Ji family also suffered an extremely heavy loss. However, if he did not become a true king, what could a God Realm powerhouse do? Not to mention the fact that outsiders were still outsiders. The only thing that mattered was becoming stronger himself. After this incident, all those who objected were dead. Although he failed in the 7 Southern Territory, he was also the only heir who had the hope of becoming the King Lord. No one objected. It was only logical that he would become the King Lord. Ji Yao could not wait any longer. Now that the situation had worsened, Fong Ping and the rest already possessed the combat strength of god generals. They went on a killing spree in the 7 Southern Territory and shook the true kings. If he did not become a true king, how could he compete? At this moment, Ji Hong still did not know his daughter's thoughts. He did not expect that Ji Yao actually had the idea of sending a large number of god generals under the Ji family to their deaths. Among the 10 god generals, 4 of them were also original source Dao. In addition to the 5 original source Dao that Ji Yao mentioned, including Jinan, there would be a total of 7 original source Dao powerhouses. Although the Ji family was powerful, 7 original source Dao and 3 weak rank 9s had fallen. It was still a huge blow. They were in big trouble. Father, make a decision when it's time to make a decision. Ji Yao reminded him again. If he did not make a decision now, it would be too late. After this battle, he might really be able to step onto the stage and become the king of the royal court. Fong Ping was right in the past. Everyone would be destroyed if they did not look out for themselves. At this moment, the only right thing to do was to make himself stronger. Everything else had to be pushed back. In the war between races, the difference between friend and foe was the true king's business. If he did not become a true king, he did not even have the right to speak. What right did he have to worry about the future of Godland? Ji Hong's expression changed again and again. Should he do it? Should he agree or not? Contact the land of rebirth and kill the true king powerhouses together. Once this matter was exposed, the Ji family would also be in big trouble. But this was a rare opportunity. The existence of King 100 Mountain and the others was a threat, not a help. Li Zhu. At this moment, a figure appeared in Ji Hong's mind. If it was Li Zhu, what would he choose at this moment? At the same time, Ji Hong thought of Li Zhu. Skyplant City. Li Zhu said indifferently, Martial King's intention is simple and clear. After a battle, the land of rebirth will be destroyed and will no longer be a threat. Godland will just focus on dealing with the two kings. It was not hard to guess the Green Wolf King's heart. If he was not from Sky Plant's royal court, then he must be from the two kings. He also needed to fight. It would be best to fight to the death and implicate 100 kings. Bamboo King's heart. Bamboo King was not stupid. Someone was secretly encouraging him, adding fuel to the fire. Let them fight. If they killed one, there would be one less. No matter who died, they would not need so many true kings. The more battles, the better. It would be best if 100 kings joined the battle and beat those old fellows from the land of boundaries. Those old fellows from the catacombs Demon Emperor calendar era. The two kings hid in the land of kings. There were many powerhouses back then. Where are they now? Where are the demon powerhouses that Tianyu Guardian mentioned? They are hiding too deeply, waiting for an opportunity. An opportunity, we can create it for them. But we can't let them do as they wish. It's better to force them out. Go inform King Huai. Let him be more stupid. It's best if he kills King Feng. If he can't, he can kill King Hua. In the basilica, a shadow said slowly, If that's the case, the land of rebirth will become stronger and stronger. What should we do? It will become a serious threat sooner or later. Li Zhu smiled faintly. Just weaken it. In the land of rebirth, China has the most powerhouses. Heavenly King Garrison and Martial King are both from China. If we don't kill them, killing the other true kings in China is meaningless. Now, everyone's focus is on Hua Nation. I'm afraid many have forgotten that there are other territories that have yet to erupt in war. Make some arrangements. Take advantage of the war. Perhaps you can kill a few true kings from the other holy lands of the land of rebirth. I'm afraid the powerhouses in Hua Nation won't be able to take care of them. Didn't Martial King want others to see his weakness? I'll fulfill his wish. Kill a few true kings to liven things up for him. This way, you can take the opportunity to elevate your status. You can use your injuries as an excuse to leave the upcoming battle between the two kings. The land of Hua Nation is the most dangerous. It's the same for the land of kings. Don't participate in these dangerous places easily. The shadow pondered and quickly said, Then I'll make the arrangements. Which of the 5 holy lands is the best? Up to you, but it's best not to go to the Hall of Gods. There are 2 old monsters there too. Understood? The shadow said no more. The next moment, the shadow dissipated. In midair, a crystal ball shattered. Li Zhu waved casually, and the crystal ball vanished completely. A moment later, an old figure entered the basilica. He looked around, slightly suspicious. Why did Li Zhu often open the seal? Li Zhu did not care about this. He raised his wine glass and smiled. Heavenly Elm Guardian, have a drink. Thank you, Guardian, for all the troubles. The 7 Southern Territory. Don't care, don't ask, don't care. Li Zhu said, chuckling. Naturally, someone will care. We'll just drink and have fun. We'll just sit back and watch the situation unfold. Fine, I won't care then. Chapter 830. Magic City Catacombs. The restricted area rank 9's gathering place. At this moment, the auras of powerhouses penetrated heaven and earth. Extremely powerful. Just as these people converged with Monster, Sunflower City, Lord, and the others, the void suddenly shook. The unknown is interesting. Stop looking. Rumble. The void shook. In the next moment, a true king screamed sharply, "How dare you!" It's no fun if you see the result. Ha ha ha. Warlords' laughter spread throughout the 7 southern territories. Then, all the true kings and paragons' mentalities vanished at the same time. In the 7 southern territories, the true kings and paragons became blind and deaf. The mentalities of the powerhouses on both sides vanished. Sensing this scene, someone in the crowd quickly snorted. Warlord must have an ulterior motive for doing this. Fong Ping can restrain his aura and even change it. Be careful of Fong Ping in case he sneaks into our midst. Yes, Warlord obliterated the immortal gods on both sides. I'm afraid he's trying to create an opportunity for Fong Ping. Everyone, don't be careless. These people were discussing. Soon, someone sneered. Don't worry about Fong Ping. If we don't split up, what can he do? The resurrected god generals are in the west now. Let's crush them and kill them. I want to see if Fong Ping will show up or not. Kill everyone else and block the passageway entrance. We don't have to force him. He'll show up himself. That's right. At this moment, everyone reached a consensus. They were powerful and numerous. Why should they split up and give Fong Ping a chance? So what if Fong Ping hid? With more than 80 god generals here, would he dare to ambush them? Even if he came, he would be walking into a trap. In the next moment, more than 80 rank 9s went straight to the west. They gathered together and crushed the other party with their strength. No matter how many tricks the resurrected martial artists had, it was all for naught. After killing all the resurrected martial artists, what could Fong Ping, a venerable, do to them? At the same time, these people were halfway to the west. In a city, Fong Ping killed a rank 7 martial artist in an instant. Old man Li's sword broke through the void and killed a rank 8 golden body in the blink of an eye. In an instant, the 2 of them turned into the auras of the 2 who were killed. Old man Li felt that his heart was about to jump out. After a while he asked, "Did anyone notice?" "I'm fine." Carelessly, Fong Ping quickly changed into the clothes of the people he killed, collected their corpses, and said, "Instructor, you better run faster later. If you're too slow, more than 80 people will attack at once. They'll beat you up in an instant. Cut the crap. You're the same. In any case, I have 9th grade combat boots, but you don't." Fong Ping chuckled, then straightened his clothes. His voice was slightly shrill as he said, "Greetings, sirs. I am—" Old man Li rolled his eyes. Fong Ping muttered a few more sentences to himself. Satisfied, he said, "It's about time. If the sirs pass by the city, we'll use the flight step to entertain them. It's not a big problem. Killing a rank 9 right in front of them. Just thinking about it is exciting. What if they don't go this way? A straight line. Do you think that when more than 80 rank 9s arrive, they'll take a detour? They must be heading straight for the west. These people are used to being arrogant. It's just a catacombs outer city. Moreover, even a rank 9 has died in battle. Why would they deliberately avoid this city?" After saying that, Fong Ping lamented, "It's a pity that they might not stop. If they really did stop, maybe they could blow up the giant mine and kill a few weak rank 9s. Although he said that in the face of a great battle, these catacombs powerhouses would not go there unless they had lost their minds. Otherwise, only a fool would enter Royal City as a guest. Fong Ping did not waste any more words. He left the mansion with Old Man Li. This place was near the city lord's residence. However, the city lord was already dead. The guardian monster plant was also dead. Right now, everyone in the city was in a state of panic. Not many people paid attention to Fong Ping and the other two powerhouses who had gathered together. They did not dare to approach and communicate either. Fang Ping raised his head and looked toward the north. There, streams of aura pierced through the sky and earth, heading straight for them. After a while, Fang Ping and Old Manly suddenly used the flight step. At this moment, Fang Ping was disguised as the rank 8 powerhouse who was killed by Old Manly earlier. At this moment, he suddenly used the flight step, saying loudly, "Sirs, is there anything I can do to help?" In front of him, there were dozens of rank 9 powerhouses. Some of them ignored him. Some of them were talking among themselves. The divine general under Bamboo King's command, on the other hand, flew forward a distance. The 7 southern territories Tianji clan was under Bamboo King's command. He should say something too. Hearing Fang Ping's question, the person said quickly, "Protect the city well. Be careful not to let thieves break in. As for other matters, you don't have to interfere." "Yes, sir," Fang Ping responded loudly, hurriedly dodging to the side. Beside him, Old Man Li also hurriedly dodged, giving way to the Madeira passageway. Everyone ignored him. They used the flight step directly. Seeing that most of the troops were about to leave, there were still a few people left at the back. Fang Ping glanced at Old Man Li. Both of them exchanged glances. Their gazes fell on the rank 9 at the back at the same time. Boom! At this moment, Fang Ping's mentality self-detonated abruptly. The weak rank 9 powerhouse at the back staggered at once. The moment Fang Ping's mentality self-detonated, Old Man Li's sword pierced through the air as well. Buzz! A huge space rift swept across the weak rank 9 powerhouse directly. Both of them did not even look at the result. They used the flight step to escape. Only now did the shrill scream ring out. "Damn it! It's Fang Ping and the others. Kill them!" Everyone was enraged. More than 80 god generals had gathered together. They did not expect Fang Ping to be so daring. He suddenly pretended to be a powerhouse from the city, took the initiative to contact them, and attacked them the moment they passed by. This was simply unbelievable. Audacious was not enough to describe them. If more than 80 god generals stopped for even a moment and attacked together, even Zhang Wei would be blown up in an instant, let alone Fang Ping. But the other party did it. He had killed a divine general expert right in front of them. In the blink of an eye, dozens of god generals made their moves. Divine weapons with divine weapons tore through the air. Those without divine weapons also burst forth with their mental energy. Some even tore through the air and chased after them. Behind them, someone shouted, "Don't chase. We can't split up." Once they split up, it would be easy for them to be defeated one by one. Someone shouted, "Don't chase after them. Stay alert and kill the other resurrected divine generals." Both Fang Ping and his companion fled extremely quickly. Once they chased after them, the formation would be in disarray. If things got messy, it would be troublesome. Don't chase after them. Don't act alone, in case Fang Ping sneaks into our midst. The god generals under Maple King's command roared. These idiots, why would they chase after them? If they could not kill Fang Ping, then they would not kill him now. If one of them chased after them and was killed, then who knew if it would be them or Fang Ping and the others when they came back? This was the true terror of Fang Ping. In the next moment, more than 10 god generals who had chased after them rushed back one after another. Everyone looked gloomy. More than 80 people had a god general killed in front of them. Even if they knew that Fang Ping was difficult to deal with, these people still looked gloomy and cold at this moment. The burly man under Green Wolf King's command said quickly, "Don't chase after Fang Ping. Let him do whatever he wants. We'll go kill the resurrected divine general. From now on, don't come into contact with any outsiders. Other than ourselves, we can't trust anyone else. When we pass by Royal City, take a detour to avoid being ambushed." As he spoke, for auras suddenly rushed toward them from afar. D***MN arrogant. Everyone was furious. The resurrected divine generals had so few people, yet they dared to split up. These people were just about to attack when the 4 auras retreated in the blink of an eye, disappearing into the distance in an instant. Everyone looked at each other. Someone said angrily, "Are we just going to let them come and go like this?" Aggrieved. Too aggrieved. They had more than 80 god generals, yet they did not dare to chase after these people. They let them wander around nearby, waiting for them to attack at any time. This was simply unbearable. The burly man said in a low voice, "They want us to split up and chase after them. They want to create opportunities for the other god generals in the land of rebirth. Don't fall for it. Kill them all." So what if they're arrogant now? These people have gone far on the origin path. They're powerful, or like Fong Ping, they have special abilities. It's very difficult for us to chase after them. The only way is to surround the other resurrected divine generals and kill them. We don't have to care about these people. They'll show up on their own and stop running away. Zhang Weiyu and the others were too strong. Their speed was too fast. If they wanted to kill them, the only way was to surround them from all directions. However, surrounding them from all directions, that would mean splitting up. If they split up, it would be troublesome. If they did not split up and move together, how could they surround and kill them? Previously, during the battle between the resurrected martial artists and the 7 southern regions' powerhouses, they had already felt threatened. If it were any other time, they would have surrounded these people from all directions and killed them. It would not be like now, where they were all gathered together. The burly man under the Green Wolf King shouted again, "Everyone, bear with it for a while. Let them be arrogant. There aren't many god generals among the resurrected martial artists. There are more than 20 god generals, powerhouses over there. Once they're surrounded and killed by us, how can these people not save them? That's right. Everyone, don't fall for it. We can't split up now. After all, they were all god generals, powerhouses. They were not real fools. If they were defeated one by one at this time, that would be the real taboo." Even though everyone was furious, they did not say anything else. They quickly rushed toward the west. There were more than 20 powerhouses over there. With so many people, they could not avoid them. Split up? The resurrected martial artists dared to split up. Not everyone was like Fong Ping and Zhang Weiyu. Once they split up, 3 to 5 god generals could kill them. There were more than 80 god generals. Could they not kill more than 20? The difference was several times. In the distance, Zhang Weiyu sighed. "These guys, if they don't take the bait, it'll be very troublesome." More than 80 people gathered together. So what if they were strong? If 4 of them charged in together, that would be asking for death. If there were more than 10 of them, they would still dare to charge in and fight. But there were more than 80. Forget it. This was not the way to seek death. Wu Chuan frowned too. They don't care what we do now. They're going straight to Li Daong and the rest. Once Li Daong and the rest are surrounded and killed, they'll be in danger. Fong Ping and Chongqing killed 1 person, but it's not very useful. Right now, 1 more or 1 less person doesn't make much of a difference. Fong Ping wanted to lure them to split up and chase after them. It seems like he failed. The few of them looked at each other. Sometimes the battle situation really did not go according to their plan. Previously, everyone had thought that if these people split up and attacked, then they would go on a killing spree and destroy this rank 9 army. Now, they were completely ignoring them. That was the biggest problem. Zhang Weiyu and the rest had a headache. "Old man," Li said helplessly, "what should we do? They're not chasing after us. They're going there. This is troublesome." It was very satisfying just now, but it was just for a while. If they appeared again now, those fellows might not distinguish whether they were catacombs martial artists or not. They would kill them directly. If they did not split up, this would be troublesome. Fong Ping, however, did not care. He chuckled. "It's such a simple matter. Everyone has a weakness. Moreover, the people in the catacombs are not united. This rank 9 powerhouse army also comes from everywhere. They're all under the command of various true kings. Instructor, do you know how to provoke these fellows in the catacombs? Scolding. Fong Ping grinned. If their master is insulted, their subjects must die. In the catacombs, it's fine if you scold them, but you can't scold the true kings. The true kings care about their dignity. They're supreme and inviolable. If there are divine generals under the true kings here, and I scolded their true king's master, these fellows are indifferent. Do you know what will happen to them? It's too horrible to look at. The true kings are supreme. I scolded their master in front of their faces, and they didn't care. Just watch. Once someone leaks the news, even if they win this battle, their merits will not make up for their mistakes. Fong Ping understood these things quite well. The catacombs and humans were different. In the catacombs, the true kings were God. If you scolded the deity they believed in front of the God's believers, it would be a problem if they did not fight you to the death. Moreover, this was a deity with real strength, a living deity. If you didn't care, the deity might punish you. Old Man Li was a little surprised. Is it really that effective? If they were in each other's shoes, would Fong Ping and Old Man Li step forward when someone scolded Zhang Tao, knowing that it was dangerous? Stop fooling around. Not just the two of them. If old Zhang himself felt that it was not worth it, he would probably ignore it and scold as he pleased. It's true. Believe me. Fong Ping chuckled. If you don't believe me, I'll go and test it out for you now. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping quickly turned around and sprinted for more than 10 li. His mentality erupted, and he roared. King Maple is an idiot. King Huai is also an idiot. Green Wolf King is an animal. I'll crush his balls with one slap. Fong Ping's roar shook the heavens. His voice traveled tens of li. He scolded them as harshly as he could, as humiliated them as he could. At this moment, the movement of the troops in front suddenly slowed down. Where the catacombs' powerhouses were, dozens of god generals looked at each other. Someone looked at the powerhouses under the command of King Maple, King Huai, and the others with a strange expression. What should they do? The true king was at Mount Imperial Sea. Although his mentality had been extinguished and he could not hear them, there were so many people here. If they ignored this, they would be in big trouble. Damn it! The burly man suddenly cursed. This was an overt plot. Should they chase after him or not? If they did not kill him, that bastard would just follow behind and scold the true king loudly. To the true king, such humiliation was more unacceptable than the death of dozens of god generals. It was fine if they were not directly under the true king, but they were the god generals directly under the true king. If they did not do anything, what would the true king think? Damn bastard! The burly man was furious. This was telling them clearly that they had to come and kill him. That fellow was still scolding them now. The next moment, the burly man said angrily, "Send 15 people to surround and kill Fong Ping's longevity sword. Send 20 more people to surround and kill Snake King and the others. The rest of you go and eliminate those fellows." They had no choice but to split up. Otherwise, if this continued, the true king's name would be tarnished in the 7 Southern Territory. It was not like there were no living people in the 7 Southern Territory. How could the true king keep his face after such humiliation? In an instant, the team was divided into 3 teams. 15 people attacked Fong Ping and the others, 20 people attacked Zhang Weiyu and the others in the distance, and the remaining 50 people attacked Li Daong and the others. This time, Zhang Weiyu and Old Man Li were dumbfounded. They had fought against the catacombs for many years, but they had never been to the restricted area and had little contact with the catacombs' true king. They did not know clearly what the true king's position was in these people's eyes. Who would have thought that after Fong Ping scolded for a while, these people would still choose to split up despite knowing Fong Ping's purpose? While Zhang Weiyu did not know whether to laugh or cry, he had finally found a solution. It was so simple. However, he might not be able to use it better than Fang Ping. This kid knew too many catacombs, true kings' names. Zhang Weiyu might not even know as much as Fang Ping. This fellow's scolding was accurate. He knew which true kings he had offended and which true kings might send people to kill him. After the scolding, the true king's subordinates attacked. Look, aren't they here? Fang Ping was smug. Splitting up was such a simple thing. Old Man Li said helplessly, "Don't be smug. 15 rank 9s run." The catacombs thought highly of them. They had sent 15 divine generals to kill the two of them. This was not an ordinary number. It was enough to kill the origin path's peerless powerhouses. Fang Ping did not waste any time. He started running immediately. As he ran, he sent a voice transmission. "Find Big Cat. 15 isn't a lot. If they gather together, Big Cat can kill a lot of them with one tail slap. We can kill the rest." "I can't find it." Old Man Li shook his head. He had no idea where the cat was hiding. This fellow was the strongest powerhouse in the 7 Southern Territory. A peerless powerhouse who dared to attack while hiding in the sea was the only one. "You can check the ground. Look at the direction of the underground river. Run along the river. You should be able to find it. If we don't kill some of them, we can't go on like this. If this goes on, there will be too many of them. We won't be able to handle it." All right. Both of them talked and did not delay their escape. Being able to split the army into 3 teams had already met Fang Ping's expectations. At the same time, Zhang Weiyu and the rest looked at each other. Very soon, Zhang Weiyu took a deep breath and said, "Everyone, are we running or fighting?" 20 people. Quite a lot, but all 4 of them were top-notch rank 9. It was dangerous, but not to the point of complete despair. Fight or run. It was already not easy to split the army into 20 people. There was not much hope if they were to count on them. Chen Yaozu said in a low voice, "What I mean is to fight. Of course, I'm old. I don't care about these things. This time, I'm also thinking of breaking through if I don't die in battle. Wu Chuan and Wu Quishan are still young. Both of you." Wu Chuan's expression was cold. "Both of you are looking down on me, Wu Chuan. We all know the reason why the minister has made such a big fuss this time around. This battle might be our biggest opportunity. After this time, when we enter the catacombs in the future, I'm afraid the situation will be even more dangerous. How can we have another big battle like this?" Wu Quishan chuckled too. "You can't survive if you're not crazy. If you don't fight until you're in a desperate situation, if you don't fight until you're crazy, I'm afraid it'll be difficult for the few of us to reach the top." Zhang Weiyu burst out laughing. "All right, let's fight." Having said that, Zhang Weiyu shouted, "Go, retreat 50 li, stay away from the others. Bring these people to open up a new battlefield. We won't retreat until we kill them all. Go." The 4 of them broke through the air, fleeing into the distance swiftly. Behind them, 20 rank 9 powerhouses had also caught up one after another. Not long after, Zhang Weiyu and the rest slowed down. At this moment, they had already arrived near Devil City. Turning his head to look behind, Zhang Weiyu said in a low voice again, "Everyone, let's fight to the death. We have a huge advantage. Back then, we dared to fight. This time, Fang Ping has given us a large amount of imperishable substance, so we dare to fight even more. Cut the crap. Let's fight." The 4 of them did not waste any more words. In the next moment, they stopped in their tracks at the same time. The divine weapons in their hands unleashed their auras. Without another word, they charged back at the other party's camp rapidly. "You're courting death." The powerhouses who were chasing from behind were still a little dazed. 20 rank 9 powerhouses, 7 or 8 of them were from Origin Dao. In order to deal with them, they had really brought out a powerful lineup. Yet these people still dared to fight back. Right now, the 4 people on the opposite side were silent. Both parties were about 500 meters apart. The catacombs' powerhouses attacked one after another. Yet the four people unleashed their auras. They did not stop them, but continued charging straight at the camp. Arrogant, the catacombs' powerhouses were furious. This meant that they wanted to fight to the death in close combat. These people did not care about being surrounded at all. When powerhouses fought across space, it still meant that they had the leeway and the thought of escaping. However, fighting to the death in close combat meant that they would not stop until one of them died. That's good too. If we surround them, the others will probably sense it. They will stop chasing after those fellows and join forces to annihilate them. The leading Origin Tao powerhouse sneered inwardly. Do they really think we're idiots? Once these four people were surrounded, the other powerhouses would give up on chasing after them. Fang Ping sighed aside. The group of people who were chasing after Li Daong and the rest would arrive very soon. When that time came, no matter how strong the four of them were, they would definitely die. Zhang Weiyu and the rest did not care about what he thought. Did they really think that human powerhouses were dead? If a great battle broke out here, the others would help them delay the reinforcements. Rumble. An earth-shattering roar sounded instantly. The ground disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Countless trees collapsed, and gravel turned into dust in the blink of an eye. Kill. With the four of them working together, they had a tacit understanding long ago. They attacked a weak rank 9 powerhouse at the same time. When they barged into the camp, big moves were unleashed instantly. All of them had the ability to break through space. In the blink of an eye, for gigantic space, rifts converged into one, slicing a weak rank 9 into countless pieces in an instant. Half of his body disappeared. Ah! A blood-curdling scream rang out instantly. The great battle had just broken out. The four of them had joined forces to kill a rank 9. However, among the four of them, Wu Quishan's head was also bombarded by someone. Fresh blood spilled from his mouth. Even so, he did not care at all. Golden light flickered on his body. In the blink of an eye, he recovered to his peak. Roaring continuously, the giant snake materialized, fighting with all its might. Rumble. The remaining 23 powerhouses were currently gathered within a radius of less than 100 meters. They were fighting in close combat, bathed in blood. Every punch landed on flesh. Every move was fatal. Fang Ping did not see the scene. If he did, he would be shocked too. At this moment, these 4 supreme powerhouses did not use any combat techniques or ultimate moves at all. They were all basic cultivation techniques. Basic combat techniques were all true close-quarters combat techniques. When low-ranked martial artists were still unable to release their vitality, everyone used basic combat techniques to fight in close-quarters combat. In the blink of an eye, golden blood splattered. Some belonged to the enemy and some belonged to themselves. The 4 of them burst into wild laughter. They had never fought to their heart's content like this in their lives. Chen Yaozu, the oldest among them, had his hair and beard standing on end. I've lived for 300 years, yet I've never had a battle like this. It's also a regret in my life. Today, I can finally make up for it. Chapter 831. In the direction of the Demon City, 23 rank 9 powerhouses fought until the sky darkened and the earth changed color. Spatial cracks, which were rarely seen on normal days, were everywhere today. In the west, near the 10,000 Ants Desert, Kong Lingyuan's expression was solemn. After Fang Ping and the rest left, Zhang Weiyu and the rest, he was the strongest here. Looking around, looking at everyone, Kong Lingyuan suddenly laughed. Everyone, are you afraid of death? Cut the crap. What do you want to do? Guardian Zhang and the rest have already started fighting. Those guys are actually turning to help. They're not coming. Kong Lingyuan said loudly. Why do Guardian Zhang and the rest dare to fight? Because they trust us. We're here. Although we don't have many people, we're here. That's their confidence. I'm going to stop the pursuers. Everyone who wants to go. Nonsense. Let's go. Tian Mu, who was not strong, had an extremely bad temper. Without another word, he broke through the air and rushed forward. Kong Lingyuan was a chatterbox. Why did he have so much nonsense to say? Of course, he had to stop them. This battle was a test of courage. It was a test of survival in the face of death. At this moment, the remaining 18 human powerhouses, including Zheng Tao, who had just recovered his physical body, did not say a word. They leaped into the air and took the initiative to meet the enemy. Humans had struggled to survive for hundreds of years. This was what they relied on. As long as people did not die, the battle would not stop. 18 people leaped into the air. Even the phoenix was left behind, thrown to the jiao, and the rest to watch. At this moment, no one asked the demons to help. Once the battle started, who knew if the demons were good or bad? They could not be trusted. Since that was the case, 18 people might as well go alone. 18 powerhouses were extremely fast, heading straight for the demon city. The jiao stayed where it was, a little lost for a moment. As a demon, at this moment, it could not understand these people's choice. Even if the catacombs were divided into 3 places, there were still close to 50 powerhouses in the last place. 50 to 18. There was also a half-crippled Jingtao. More than half of the top powerhouses had left. Although the remaining people were not weak, they were not strong enough to fight 1 against 3. Were these people not afraid of death? Are they not afraid of death? The jiao still asked this question. At this stage of the battle, in the jiao's opinion, it was time to hide. The resurrected martial artists could retreat to their own world. Why did they continue fighting? If these people really wanted to leave, they might be able to. No, he must have left. Before the humans split up, they had the chance to leave. The jiao did not understand. He did not understand either. At this moment, it needed to consider whether it should help or not. He struggled desperately. It was very dangerous, but it wanted to become a demon king, and it had also accepted the token of the first true king of the human race. If it didn't go now, what would it do if the revived martial artist didn't lose? Jiao was more concerned about his own interests. The road ahead was very dangerous. There were so many rank 9s. If it went to help, it might die. Is this king going? The jiao struggled for a while. After a while, the jiao suddenly roared. Go! The resurrected martial artist was defeated, and it was finished. Don't hold any more hope. Follow this king. Jiao roared and charged in the direction of the crowd. Kill! Kill all the experts of God Continent, and the 7 southern regions would be peaceful. In today's 7 southern regions, the only way was to carve out a new world. On the ground, Zhang Tao's face was cold and his eyes were cold. The 5 sacred lands' reinforcements had not arrived yet. The next moment, Zhang Tao threw a punch. After a while, Dragon King Linlong arrived. Along with him were a few unfamiliar rank 9s. Minister, we're here. Linlong chuckled. There were a few rank 9 powerhouses in the central government. The government was in charge of civil affairs, and the 3 departments and 4 houses were in charge of martial affairs. Usually, these rank 9s rarely showed up. They were also the last few powerhouses to maintain the safety of the ground. Today, they were here too. Zhang Tao glanced at them. Including Linlong, there were a total of 5 people. This was also Sino Nation's last asset. All right, go in and help. Hurry! Ignore Zhang Weiyu and the rest. Go to Kong Lingyuan and the rest. Yes, the 5 refined rank 9 powerhouses stepped into the passageway without hesitation and disappeared in an instant. At this moment, Li Hansong suddenly took a step forward. Without a word, he entered the passageway directly. Zhang Tao wanted to say something, but hesitated. In the end, he said nothing. Li Hansong's armor appeared, and he disappeared into the vortex in the blink of an eye. As soon as he left, Wang Jinyang and the rest were about to go forward when Zhang Tao shouted, "Nonsense! He has a divine weapon armor with unparalleled defense that can block rank 9s. Right now, there are almost 100 rank 9s gathered in the catacombs. Rank 7 martial artists will die instantly if they go over. Today was no longer a one-on-one battle. Rank 9s were forming groups. They would not give rank 7 martial artists the chance to fight one-on-one or kill one person with more than 10 people. This was a group battle. Once these rank 7 martial artists were involved, they would not be able to block the attacks of several rank 9s at the same time. They would be killed instantly. At this time, rank 7 martial artists were no longer useful on the battlefield. This was not the war of the past, where rank 7s could kill a rank 9s alone. Wang Jinyang and the rest looked unwilling. Lu Polu suddenly walked out, smiling. I have a rank 9 divine weapon. I can fight. After saying that, Lu Polu held the divine weapon longsword and was about to enter. Beside him, Qin Yaoting laughed. Old Lu, you can't do it alone. Let the two of us do it together. Us too. Su Giqing and the rest of the elders also spoke up, saying loudly, we have rank 8 combat strength. With divine weapons in hand, we can also fight a rank 9 together. How can MCMAU powerhouses avoid the battle of Magic City? Sino Nation is fighting with all its might. We are not willing to wait for the results of the battle. The few elders were in high spirits. We are powerhouses too. We can fight too. Let's go together. Together. In the crowd, more and more rank 8 powerhouses stood up, saying loudly, we have a golden body. We won't die so easily. Minister, the high grandmasters have all rushed to the catacombs. I'm afraid the situation is not good. Let us go in. Minister. Voices full of anticipation came one after another. Zhang Tao looked around and suddenly laughed. All right, then you guys be careful. Don't split up. Remember, don't die. It's not worth it. Today, I'm ready to break all the rules. At the crucial moment, I will destroy all rank 9s. It's not worth it for you to die now. They are not in danger. If the danger is too great, I will enter the catacombs and kill those fellows. As soon as he said that, everyone looked excited. Then fight. The next moment, more than 20 rank 8 powerhouses stepped into the passageway. Zhang Tao looked at the rank 7 martial artists and a large number of middle-ranked martial artists behind him, smiling. Don't worry. There will be opportunities for you to join the battle. Of course, the premise is that the rules are still there. If the rules are still there, then you guys will enter later and destroy Magic City's 12 cities. In this battle, Magic City's catacombs will be leveled. Destroy the catacombs in one battle. Truly destroy the 7 Southern Territory. Victory! Loud roars resounded through the sky. More than 10,000 martial artists roared at the top of their lungs. This battle must be won. Magic City's catacombs must be leveled. More and more rank 9 powerhouses join the battle. A large number of rank 8 powerhouses also began rushing to the catacombs to join the battle. Sino Nation would definitely win this battle and destroy the 7th Southern Territory in one battle. In Magic City, vitality soared to the sky, dispersing the dark clouds in the sky. Last night it rained, and the dark clouds did not disperse. Today, everyone was united. The powerhouses did not care. These middle-ranked and low-ranked martial artists unleashed their vitality, soaring to the sky, restoring clarity to the world. In the catacombs, the number of Sino Nation rank 9 powerhouses with combat strength had reached 29. There were also dozens of rank 8. This was almost Sino Nation's limit. Zhang Tao pondered for a moment. Suddenly, he transmitted his voice to everyone, informed the rank 9s guarding the catacombs. At the crucial moment, give up the guarding mission and come to Magic City to gather. If it was a gamble, then let's make it bigger. He wanted to see how far the battle would go in the end. After the voice transmission ended, Zhang Tao picked up his phone and quickly made a call. This time he was no longer transmitting his voice everywhere. Instead, he said in a weak voice, "Get ready to evacuate. Other than food, don't bring anything else. Ask the 4 houses of guardians and the governorships of all provinces to get ready. At the crucial moment, I will ask Nan Yunue to cooperate with your evacuation. Have you thought it through?" A worried voice came from the other side of the phone. It was also full of reluctance. Zhang Tao said softly, "I've thought it through. We can't go on like this. The catacombs are always targeting us. There are too many catacombs, passageways in Sino Nation. We can't suppress them anymore. North, South, East, and West territories. The other 3 territories have very few wars. Sino Nation is full of talents and has always been a thorn in the catacombs side. If this goes on and they reach a consensus, powerhouses from the other 3 territories will gather in the Southern Territory. The Southern Territory won't be able to hold on. Since they're unwilling to contribute, then I won't hold back. I'll abandon Sino Nation and defend the 7 Southern Territories. As long as we defend the 4 directions, the pressure will be greatly reduced. But now, everything is not ready. If we evacuate in such a hurry, more than 1 billion people, Minister Zhang, I'm afraid that Sino Nation will suffer countless casualties, Zhang Tao sighed softly. Now that things have come to this, we have no other choice. This is the only way to survive in the face of death. Sino Nation can't be like this anymore. They keep bearing the pressure of the main attack. The pressure is so great that it's about to crush everyone. All right, I understand. I'll make arrangements. I hope that the Southern Governor can arrive in time to help all parties evacuate smoothly. Don't worry. Even if the catacombs have the upper hand, they might not attack Earth at this time. This is just the last resort. We'll attract more powerhouses from the 7 Southern Territories here. If other true kings enter, these true kings in the 7 Southern Territories won't agree. I hope so. After the 2 communicated for a while, Zhang Tao hung up. The old man on the other side was the leader of Sino Nation's central government. Although the other party was not strong, he still had to make things clear to the other party. If they really wanted to carry out a mass evacuation, it was not something that could be done just like that. More than 1 billion people were not that simple. No matter how strong a paragon was, he could be considered invincible if he could take down 1 million people at once. Evacuation. At this stage, they might lose more than half of the population. Moreover, survival in the catacombs would be a big problem. Fortunately, the government's years of preparation were not without precautions. I hope it won't come to this. Zhang Tao muttered in his heart. If it really came to that, Sino Nation that had been guarded for so many years would really fall. Kill. Kagu. In the 7 Southern Territories, the sound of fighting shook the heavens. Li Daong and the rest began to encounter the other party. More than 70 rank 9s broke out in an instant. 18 human powerhouses, 5 rank 9s, and nearly 100 rank 7s and 8s were engaged in a chaotic battle in the blink of an eye. Rumble. The sound of an explosion rang out. A rank 7 monster that participated in the battle exploded instantly. The Sly roared. Fight. Kill. If you don't die in this battle, I will help you become venerables. Achieve the king realm. Kill. The Sly was also desperate to throw out benefits. Whether it could be done or not, he would say it first. When the time came, he would just look for Chef. This time, the demons in the bounded zone had really contributed a lot. Would Chef have the cheek not to give them benefits? 23 rank 9s, together with hundreds of demons, were also evenly matched with the other party. At this time, from the direction of Hope City, 5 rank 9s were also coming swiftly. Behind them, more than 20 rank 8s were also rushing over. Kong Lingyuan sensed these people's aura and was overjoyed. He shouted, "Reinforcements are here. Linlong and the rest are here. Today we will destroy these beasts." As soon as he finished speaking, the divine weapon-folding fan in Kong Lingyuan's hand suddenly enlarged countless times, covering heaven and earth. The folding fan directly enveloped more than a dozen rank 9 powerhouses. Kong Lingyuan spat out golden blood, shouting continuously, "Trap! Seal! Destroy!" Kong Lingyuan spat out word by word. On the folding fan, brilliant golden light erupted. Li Daong laughed. "Old Kong, you're really something. You're already 100 years old. When did you secretly become Minister Zhang's disciple?" "You talk too much." Kong Lingyuan's face was pale. He laughed loudly. In the void, a crystal book suddenly appeared, instantly merging into the folding fan. The folding fan was like a cover, covering those rank 9 powerhouses who were still attacking wildly. There were a total of 12 of them, piercing the air. At this time, Li Daong also roared angrily. The piercing swordsmanship was unleashed. He was Li Zhan's student, at least half a student. Peerless powerhouses' ultimate techniques were usually not passed down even to their descendants. The Catacombs' true king's ultimate technique was something that only a few descendants could learn. However, powerhouses like Li Zhan would pass down their ultimate techniques as long as they were suitable for others. Old Man Li and Li Daong had both learned Li Zhan's piercing swordsmanship. At this moment, Li Daong slashed with his sword. Cracks appeared in the void, covering the rank 9s like a spider web. The rank 9 divine weapon in his hands actually let out a creaking sound, showing signs of breaking. Kong Lingyuan's ultimate technique had the shadow of Zhang Tao's ultimate technique. Li Daong directly used Li Zhan's ultimate technique. Both peerless powerhouses of mankind had passed down their ultimate techniques. At this moment, even the Catacombs' powerhouses who were their enemies were green with envy. In the Catacombs, even their children, even if they had reached the origin realm, the true king's ancestors might not necessarily pass down their ultimate techniques, let alone outsiders. But now, at this moment, many Catacombs' powerhouses had an indescribable feeling in their hearts. Actually, many of them had been on the path of origin for a long time. Some of them were not worse than Kong Lingyuan, but their combat strength was far from his. Why? They lacked something to increase their combat strength. Kong Lingyuan enveloped the 12 rank 9 powerhouses. His folding fan was also hit until it cracked. On his golden body, cracks erupted one after another, showing signs of exploding. Seeing that the others were about to step forward to help, Kong Lingyuan roared, "Take this opportunity to kill the enemy. 30 seconds. He could trap them for 30 seconds, even if his origin path would be damaged again afterward. Back then, when he cultivated for many years, his origin path was heavily injured because of a scene like this. However, back then, his opponents were only 4 rank 9s, and he was almost killed. Now his injuries had just healed and he had just returned. This scene happened again. Maybe after this time he would no longer have the chance to advance to the top, but that was nothing. If he won this battle, the rank 9s who participated in the battle today might all be able to reach his level. Everyone would be Kong Lingyuan. Winning this battle at the cost of his origin path dissipating was worth it. Crack! In the void, the folding fan began to crumble. The explosion of 12 rank 9 powerhouses was not something Kong Lingyuan could defend against. However, he alone entangled 12 of them. Even if it was only for a moment, this was also a scene worthy of being written about in the history of rank 9. They were all rank 9s. This was invincibility. Other than Chen Yaozu, were Zhang Weiyu and the others more senior than Kong Lingyuan? That old thing, Zhao Xingwu, took advantage of his seniority. His ranking was even lower than Kong Lingyuan's. Yet he dared to brag that killing him would be easy. If it were not for the minister telling him not to risk his life, he would not have smacked that old thing to death. Kong Lingyuan risked his life to entangle 12 rank 9 powerhouses. It was shocking. Li Daong and the others all erupted crazily. Destructive power surged out. Blood splattered in the sky. Golden blood poured down like raindrops. The battle was getting more and more intense. From time to time, The sound of demons exploding could be heard. There were also catacombs rank 9 powerhouses who fell. On the human side, the weak ones like Minister Wang, the divine weapon that he had just obtained, exploded with a bang. His golden body was also crippled, unable to fight anymore. He fell to the ground, his eyes full of unwillingness. The sound of killing resounded throughout the 7 southern territories. At this moment, below in the underground black hole, the original land had already disappeared. The cat's big head popped out a little, looking at the battle in the sky. That guy is going to die. The cat glanced at Kong Lingyuan and muttered, "This guy was very powerful, at least among the pseudo-gods. He was considered one of the top ones. He was not afraid of death, and his combat strength was unparalleled. But he was really going to die." That folding fan was the representation of his Tao of origin. The moment the folding fan completely collapsed, his Tao of origin would also be completely destroyed. If he was lucky, he would become a cripple. If he was unlucky, he would die immediately. Doggy's descendant, how shameless. The cat suddenly looked at the Jiao. This guy was fishing in troubled waters. He had been fighting a weak rank 9 for a long time. 1 man and 1 demon were fighting passionately, but in reality the danger was extremely low. The cat was a little speechless. This guy was really embarrassing. Its ancestor was very powerful and incomparably brave. He killed gods and Buddhas when he met gods and Buddhas. But this guy, why was he so afraid of death? He looked at Kong Lingyuan again. Seeing that his folding fan was about to collapse completely, the cat tilted its head and thought for a while. Suddenly it spoke telepathically. "You there, come down a little. Come down a little. This cat can help you kill a few. Remember to give this cat some cat food." Kong Lingyuan, who was spewing blood nonstop, was almost scared to death. The battle was going well. Suddenly, someone directly broke through his mentality defense and spoke into his brain. How scary! However, in the next moment, joy exploded in Kong Lingyuan's eyes. He let out a crazy roar. His flesh cracked, and both his legs exploded directly. Still, he forcefully dragged the 12 rank 9s down a little. The cat tilted its head and looked for a while. Then it said, "Come down a little. It's too high. Why do you guys fly so high when you fight? Really, I can't reach it. Your tail is too big. It's not good if people see it." Kong Lingyuan almost vomited blood. "Go down again. I'm going to die. If I go down a little more, I'm going to collapse." The cat was a little impatient. It said again, "Otherwise, this cat will leave." In the next second, the cat suddenly said, "That's not right. I can use the origin space. Forget it. I'll go that high." When the words came out, Kong Lingyuan did not react. In an instant, the rank 9s he covered suddenly had a dull look in their eyes. It was as if their mentality was sucked out in an instant. In the blink of an eye, these people fell down one after another. Kong Lingyuan was stunned for a moment. Then, 12 people lost their signs of life at the same time. On the ground, the cat seemed to be looking at something. Sharp claws popped out of its huge cat paws and poked at the void. With a poke, a rank 9 powerhouse on the ground exploded with a bang. With a poke, a rank 9 exploded. After poking for a while, the cat suddenly raised its head and glanced at Kong Lingyuan, who was also falling. Its big face was a little conflicted. The origin path had collapsed. That was so fast. It had just praised him that he was very strong. Why did he only last for a while? Should I save him or not? That strong guy didn't say he wanted to save him. He only said he wanted to help kill some people. The cat was conflicted for a while. It felt like it was at a disadvantage. Forget it. I'll save him, but I can't do anything about the origin path. The cat hesitated for a moment. It did not go up. Instead, it waited for Kong Lingyuan to fall down. Then it curled up Kong Lingyuan with its tail and patted him for a while with its paws. After a while, Kong Lingyuan's eyes were tightly shut. His aura that was about to dissipate earlier had stabilized. That's it. I think I'm at a disadvantage this time. The cat did not care about him anymore. With a sweep of its tail, it tossed Kong Lingyuan somewhere. Up in the sky, everyone was stunned. The 12 god generals and Kong Lingyuan's aura dissipated together. How was that possible? How could Kong Lingyuan have the ability to kill 12 rank 9s? Everyone saw that he had entangled 12 people earlier, but they were not anxious at all. That guy was just struggling on his deathbed. A moment's effort was enough to blow him up. 12 rank 9s were extremely powerful. Kong Lingyuan had exhausted everything. He said he could entangle them for 30 seconds. If he could entangle them for 10 seconds, he would be considered capable. In the end, they were all gone. All of them were gone, including Kong Lingyuan himself. These 13 people fell together. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. Not a single one was left. What happened? How could this be? These people were extremely stunned. The cat suddenly felt that it was a little too obvious that it had destroyed those people. Killing so many people at once. Isn't it too much? The true king's mentality had been destroyed. There were no true kings in the 7 southern territory watching the battle. Otherwise, even if they could not sense its aura, the death of so many people at once would attract the true king's attention. Maybe it's too much. I don't want to fight a true god. The cat did not say another word. It turned around and left. Before it left, there was a sudden deafening explosion in the underground pit earlier. The surrounding area was blasted into a giant pit with a radius of tens of thousands of meters. 13 fake gods, self-destructing at once. That was about the power. The cat, who had already run far away, felt that it could not be bothered anymore. All 13 people self-destructed. It had nothing to do with it. I didn't do it. They self-destructed while fighting. Yes, that's it. The true God doesn't know that I did it. He won't find out. Yes, it has nothing to do with me. The cat shrugged off all responsibility. It was not me. Don't try to frame me. Old Kong. At this moment, Li Daong and the rest were also extremely stunned. Kong Lingyuan's aura was gone. He died in battle? The key was that Kong Lingyuan actually had the ability to kill 12 rank 9s. How was it possible? Even Zhang Tao could not do this in the past. When Zhang Tao really reached this step, that was when he was 1 step away from the Paragon. It could be said that he had stepped out of the Great Path by 999, 9 meters. Not only that, Zhang Tao had advanced to rank 9 from peak golden body, 7th refinement. Before entering the Paragon, he had even honed his golden body to the 8th refinement. His foundation was incomparably solid. His great path was broad, and he was 1 step away from the Paragon. He was much stronger than the current Kong Lingyuan. Zhang Tao could do it, but Kong Lingyuan could not. However, why did he disappear together with 12 rank 9s? Although everyone was fighting in the same area, it was chaotic when the battle started. At that moment, not many people had the mind to observe other places. In the blink of an eye, a big explosion happened. Everyone was finished. The power was comparable to 13 rank 9s self-destructing. It was also shocking. In the sky, many people were sent flying backward by the impact. Some weaker rank 9s were almost killed by the aftermath. Some rank 7 monsters were even blown to death directly this time. At this moment, Li Daong could not care less about Kong Lingyuan. 12 rank 9s were killed in an instant. Humans' chance was here. Right now, there were only about 30 rank 9s on the catacomb side. They, including the Jiao's side, originally had 23 rank 9s. Now, there were 22 left. Although a few had lost their combat strength, there were still 17 or 18 who could fight. In the distance, Lin Long and the other 4 had arrived. It was worth it to sacrifice Kong Lingyuan alone in exchange for the lives of 12 rank 9s. Kill them all. Avenge old Kong. Li Daong roared. The void-piercing swordplay was unleashed. The rank 9 divine weapon exploded immediately. The fragments shattered the space, shooting in all directions. In the blink of an eye, a few weaker rank 9s were pierced by the fragments. Shrill screams were heard. Although they were not dead, they were heavily injured. Rumble. The sound of explosions echoed everywhere. One by one, the rank 9 powerhouses fell. Everyone did not care if the people who fell were dead or alive. They did not have combat strength now. Following Linlong's loud roar, he led 4 rank 9s to join the battle. The situation was instantly stabilized. Meanwhile, Mount Imperial Sea. At this moment, a total of 40 rank 9s entered the border again. Among them, Ji Yao was among them. Beside Ji Yao, Ji Nan led another 5 powerhouses, surrounding Ji Yao in the middle. With a solemn expression, he said, "Yao this time you?" Ji Yao chuckled. "There are so many of us in the 7 southern territories. Yao come in and see if you can take the opportunity to kill Fong Ping. He has become Yao's nightmare. If I don't kill him, I won't be able to eat or sleep in peace." Other than the 7 of them, the remaining 30 or so rank 9s were all reinforcements. These people were already ready to enter. In the end, Ji Yao said that she wanted to enter too. Many of these people were from Destiny Royal Court. They could only wait and drag it out until now to enter. Regarding the situation in the 7 southern territories, now that the true king's eyes and ears were cut off, they did not know anything. As soon as they entered the 7 southern territories, everyone noticed something unusual. In the south, 2 streaks of blood-red light rose to the sky. That was caused by the battle between powerhouses. Even the void seemed to be broken, and blood-red light pierced the sky. Everyone's expression was solemn. Had the battle come to this stage? Including the 7 southern territories' local divine generals, there were as many as 100 divine generals who came to help previously. Until now, they still had not taken down the other party. It seemed like the battle was intense. The tenacity of the land of rebirth was too terrifying. If they were included, the number of rank 9s who entered the 7 southern territories this time had reached as high as 140. Ji Nan was powerful. Originally, he could not sense anything from 2,000 li away. However, there were too many powerhouses fighting now. Some of the situation was reflected. Looking in the direction of Devil City, Ji Nan said with a heavy expression, "There are peerless powerhouses below the true king level fighting over there. It's not just 1 or 2. There are quite a few of them. I'm afraid they all have the ability of the top 50 divine generals." As he said that, he looked to the west and said, "I'm afraid there are at least more than 50 divine generals fighting over there." The blood-red light pierced the sky. "I'm afraid many divine generals have fallen." Then Ji Nan looked toward the middle area. He frowned and said, "There are also more than 10 divine generals gathered over there, but they seem to be running around. What are these guys doing?" More than 10 divine generals did not join the battle. Instead, they ran to the middle area and ran around. "They must be stupid." Ji Yao laughed instantly. "Uncle Wang, have you forgotten that there are people who can hide their auras?" Fong Ping. Ji Nan reacted instantly. "It's probably him. He should be over here. Come, let's go over there." Beside her, someone said immediately, "Your Highness Ji Yao, let's go help." "Shut up." Ji Yao's expression was cold. She looked around and said coldly, "I'm going to kill Fong Ping. I don't care about the people from Heavenly Plants, Royal Court. Everyone else has to kill Fong Ping first. If Fong Ping doesn't die and the people from Destiny Royal Court dare to leave, don't blame me for being merciless." As soon as she said that, everyone felt helpless. The people from Destiny Royal Court had nothing to say. Ji Yao was also their master in name. If they went against Ji Yao's orders now, there would be trouble. Killing Fong Ping was also something they could do along the way. Moreover, the main purpose of this time seemed to be to kill Fong Ping. Everyone did not say anything else. They followed Ji Yao and the others and hurried over there. As for Ji Yao, she was currently thinking whether she should really take this opportunity to kill Fong Ping or act according to her previous plan. He seems to be in a lot of trouble. There are more than 10 divine generals. He can't be alone, right? If that's the case, then I'll have to think about it. Some thoughts surfaced in Ji Yao's mind. This time, she should not lose out. Even if she could not trap and kill those enemy true kings, if she really encountered Fang Ping in trouble, it would be good to take the opportunity to kill Fang Ping. Chapter 832. Where's the cat? At this moment, Fang Ping still did not know the details of what happened over there. He only knew that a great battle had broken out. However, he could not find the cat. This made Fang Ping very helpless. There were 15 rank 9s chasing after them. Without the big cat's help, no matter how much he and Old Man Li exploded, they could not possibly be a match for 15 rank 9s. While he was still thinking, the next moment, Fang Ping's expression changed drastically. Damn it, another rank 9s have entered the domain. There were 40 people over there. Such a powerful qi dynamic spread thousands of miles. Fang Ping might not be able to sense it now if someone entered the domain alone. However, he felt threatened and pressured by a few dozen people. Someone else has entered the domain again. Old Zhang asked me to lure hundreds of rank 9s. Now it's really more than 100. Fang Ping dared not believe it. This battle had originally planned for 18 rank 9s. Now, there were almost 140 rank 9s who had entered. On Magic City's side, the humans had also gone from a few rank 9s at the beginning to dozens now. The great battle had completely exceeded Fang Ping's expectations. These guys are coming to my side. Fang Ping's expression changed drastically again. Beside him, Old Man Li turned back to look at the pursuers behind. Right now, he directly grabbed Fang Ping's arm. He did not fly himself. Instead, he let Fang Ping fly with him. This could save some vitality. Moreover, Fang Ping had rank 9 combat boots. His speed was slightly faster. Even the origin path could not catch up to him. However, this could not go on. He also sensed a group of powerhouses moving in the direction of Mount Imperial Sea. What should we do? Old Man Li asked. Fang Ping was flustered and exasperated. You're the teacher. I'm the student. I should be the one asking you what to do. After saying that, he added, I'm only 20 years old. I'm inexperienced. Old Man Li almost smacked him to death. At this time, you still have the mood to talk about this? So what if you're 20 years old? Mother asterisk her. Didn't you organize and plan this great battle? Now that it has come to this, you have to take responsibility. I only have one clone of Old Zhang. It's not weak. Old Zhang's clone can kill one origin path or 2 weak rank 9s without a problem. Fang Ping thought for a while. Suddenly he said, maybe we can try attacking the origin path's weakness. But I don't know if it will work. Old Man Li, what exactly is the origin path's weakness? He really didn't understand. Everyone had always said that there were flaws in the martial Dao, and the flaw in the origin Dao was the most fatal threat. Therefore, everyone was afraid of letting others know where the flaw in the origin Dao was. However, in Fang Ping's opinion, when martial artists reached rank 9, their golden bodies would be perfected, and their bodies would be flawless. There were no flaws to speak of. How could there be a weakness attack? Old Man Li said quickly, the so-called origin Dao flaw is actually a flaw in one's spirit and willpower. Take you, for example. You actually have a flaw. If someone killed your family in front of you, would you go crazy or even lose your will? This counts as my weakness, but it shouldn't affect my battle prowess. Maybe I'll become even stronger. Although Old Man Li did not know what he had in mind, he knew that he might be able to discover the flaws in his opponent's origin path. Old Man Li continued, these are just one aspect. On the other hand, the origin path is actually an existence that controls an additional batch of power. The origin Dao was the great Dao, but it was also the key to unlocking additional power. The blessing it brought was actually a gift of another kind of power. If you discovered the weakness of the Dao of origin, You could think of a way to seal the source of its power. Kid, can you understand what I'm saying? The source of the origin Tao's power is shapeless and formless. We don't know where it comes from. However, once you discovered the opponent's origin Tao flaw, you might be able to seal the source of this power or even disrupt everything, causing him to suffer from the backlash of this power. When the time comes when the opponent uses the origin Tao, not only will there not be an increase in power, but you'll also be impacted by that power. If the original increase in vitality is 50,000 calories, you might have to use 50,000 calories vitality to resist this increase. Fang Ping's eyes lit up. In that case, once the flaw is discovered and the source of this power is disrupted, they still have to rely on themselves to suppress this power riot. That's right, Old Manly said sternly. Now do you understand why everyone dares not expose their origin Tao so easily? There are flaws in the great Tao. Martial artists more or less have some flaws. It's just a matter of how many. Some people have broad great Tao, but few flaws. Even if you know the flaw, it's not very useful because you can't shake it. Some people have obvious flaws. Once you discover it, it'll be easy to shake everything. When that happens, they'll be in big trouble. Martial Tao flaw. Power backlash. Fang Ping asked suddenly, then can't martial artists make up for this kind of flaw? They can. This is the path that origin Tao powerhouses are taking. While they are walking on the origin Tao, they are also making up for these flaws. It's equivalent to paving the road and repairing it at the same time. I'll make it clear. In the beginning, the road that everyone paves is a bumpy dirt road. There might be a big hole or a broken ditch somewhere. Later on, they'll constantly make up for all these, turning the origin Tao into a cement road, into an asphalt road. Do you understand? The stronger, the fewer the flaws? You can say that. Understood. Fang Ping said suddenly, Instructor, carry me and fly. We'll be about 1,000 meters away from them. Don't let them catch up. I'll try. These 15 fellows behind us, 5 of them have origin Tao, right? More or less. If these 5 origin Tao have a problem and are killed by us, then the remaining 10 weak rank 9s. Instructor, how many can you kill? My combat strength is unparalleled, comparable to a top-notch origin Tao. I can kill 5 of them at once. Don't brag, Instructor. You can't brag now. You'll die. Cough, cough. Don't worry. I can definitely kill 4 of them at once. Fang Ping rolled his eyes wildly. All right, even if you can kill 4 of them, there are still 6 of them. This did not even include those origin Tao. He could not defeat 6 weak rank 9s. If these people unleashed an outburst together, 6 of them against him could definitely kill him. Fang Ping could handle 2 weak rank 9s at most. Of course, if he really wanted to fight a battle of attrition, he might be able to hold back 3 of them. However, he was still lacking a little. It was a pity that the Golden House had exploded. Otherwise, it would not be difficult to trap 2 weak rank 9s now. He could still fight the remaining 8, albeit reluctantly. We'll talk about it later. Old Zhang's split body is still here. Fang Ping could not care so much. The next moment he grabbed Old Manly and said loudly, Don't lose me. I'll go to their origin Tao to check out the situation. Old Manly felt like he was listening to a heavenly book. What did he mean? You'll go to their origin Tao to check out the situation? You can even go in and take a look at their origin Tao. Fang Ping could not be bothered to say anything. He took a quick look at his own data to see if his wealth points were enough. Wealth. 380 million points vitality. 107,100 calories. 117,800 calories mentality. 4,235 hertz. 7,935 hertz. Destruction power. 60 yuan, 60 yuan. Storage space. 10,000 cubic meters plus. Energy shield. 1 point/minute plus 1. 10 points/minute. Aura simulation. 10 points/minute plus 1. 10 points/minute. Origin detailed analysis. 10. 100 million points / time thinking back. When he just came out of the restricted area, that was more than 1 billion wealth points. Fang Ping felt that it was enough for him to cultivate to the peak. Now Fang Ping was close to tears. This battle was not over yet, and he was going to go bankrupt again. This time, the battle had consumed too much. It could not be helped. There were too many powerhouses participating in the battle. Just his imperishable substance alone was given out by the tens of thousands of yuan. Without his supply at all costs, old Zhang would still want to fight such a big battle. Dream on. How much had he invested from start to finish? He had invested at least 60,000 yuan of imperishable substance. 4 rank, 9 powerhouses, if they did not die, spending 1,000 yuan of imperishable substance at most could heal their injuries. It was equivalent to the lives of 60 rank, 9 powerhouses. This was really exchanging money for lives. Without a large amount of imperishable substance, who would dare to fight with destruction power like that? They would have used up everything long ago. If others did not kill you, you would have exhausted yourself to death. I'm too important. I can't die. If I die, other things aside, if this battle continues, these rank 9s in Sino Nation will all be finished. Fang Ping was very sure. There was no other reason. These guys were all fighting at all costs this time, consuming imperishable substance. If he died, no one would provide imperishable substance. After the battle, it would be a big problem. Without the golden body, these people would be the same as MCMAU's old vice-chancellor. Unless old Zhang went to plunder the bounded domain, otherwise, it was likely that there would be one rank 9 after another, and there would be no way for him to advance anymore. Therefore, Fang Ping was also sure that if he was really in danger, old Zhang might enter the boundaries immediately to save him. It was best if he did not. Humans were actually afraid of both sides now. Old Zhang was determined to smash the table and do it once, but he was very conflicted. If he smashed the plate now, then humans would be in trouble. Sino Nation martial artists could forget about going to other catacombs. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary when there was no way out, old Zhang actually did not want to break the agreement that the top would not attack those below the top. Even the catacombs' true king did not have such thoughts. Both sides had some reservations. They were worried that if they broke the rule completely, then those below the top would face death at any time. A world with only the top left was something that both sides did not want to see. At this moment, Fang Ping also did not want old Zhang to enter the boundaries at this time. That meant that in the future, Sino Nation martial artists could only be trapped in one place, unable to fight anymore. This would cause other martial artists to be unable to advance their ranks. So I still have to save myself. Fang Ping said no more. He had to be 1,000 meters away from the other party to be able to spy on them. He had a rough idea of this. 5 of them. If they're all the weakest kind, then it'll be 50 million points. If they're slightly stronger, then it might be very high. But it looks like they're just average. It shouldn't cost 100 million points. Fang Ping did not think that these people would consume too much wealth. 100 million points was already the limit. I'll give it a try. Fang Ping did not waste any more words. He suddenly looked at an origin powerhouse behind him. It could not be helped. The other party was strong and fast, just in front. F***CK. In the next moment, Fang Ping suddenly cursed. Trash! At this moment, he seemed to have entered a new world. In front of him was a dilapidated narrow path. 200 meters long. Is it even 1 meter wide? What kind of lousy thing is this? Looking at the muddy path in front of him, Fang Ping ridiculed endlessly. This was Origin Dao. Stop joking. The only one Fang Ping had seen before was old Zhang. That 10,000-meter long, infinitely extending, infinitely wide, infinitely bright, heavenly path. That was what he had in mind. That was Origin Dao. But what about in front of him? It was a dim world. It was as if a small path that could barely pass through had been opened up in the chaos. It was extremely shabby. Moreover, it was getting narrower and narrower. At first, it was still 1 meter wide. Later on, Fang Ping saw that 200 meters away, the path was blocked. Both sides were like walls, directly blocking the path. There was no way out. Is this worthy of being called Origin Tao? Is this worthy of being called Heavenly Path? The path is already blocked. I'm afraid this is all I can achieve in this lifetime unless I continue to open it up. But in this situation, the path is getting narrower and narrower. Can it be opened up? Fang Ping seriously doubted it. However, at this time he was not interested in caring about this fellow. A fellow who had walked 200 meters away from Origin Tao was not considered weak. It was passable. However, Origin Tao was really too lacking. Fang Ping did not waste any more words. He quickly looked around. Everywhere it was dark. There was only a muddy path under his feet. Fang Ping was currently standing at the starting point. After thinking for a while, Fang Ping took the first step, officially stepping onto Origin Tao. At this moment, Fang Ping's vision blurred. He seemed to see something, but it also seemed like he did not see anything. I want to become a true king. If King Huai can become a true king, so can I. All kinds of messy thoughts began to attack Fang Ping's mind. Fang Ping shook his head. In reality, what was here at this moment was not his real self. It was just a force of willpower. However, Fang Ping was still a little shocked. No wonder old Zhang said that when you opened up Origin Tao, all kinds of messy thoughts would tempt you from all directions. Become a true king. I must become a true king. Only a true king is supreme. Fang Ping felt that this fellow's faith was not bad. It was not too messy. After all, those who could step onto Origin Tao were certainly people with strong willpower. Only one thought, to become a true king powerhouse. He looked down on King Huai at the same time. As he walked, Fang Ping seemed to see a martial artist in the dark void, in the chaos, waving an axe, opening up a path. In other words, the Origin Tao under his feet. The martial artist who opened up the path was also the martial artist Fang Ping was observing. He was opening up a path in the darkness. This was the origin of Origin Tao. It's very simple willpower. Become stronger? If that's the case, many powerhouses have this kind of idea. So if your willpower is strong enough, you can open up your own Origin Tao. Fang Ping had doubts in his heart. He did not feel anything special. Was it because this fellow's path was too simple? Fang Ping continued walking. Suddenly, Fang Ping's eyes moved. About 100 meters in front of him, there seemed to be a gap in the path. It's too difficult. Let's go around it. When Fang Ping walked near the gap, a thought struck his mind. That Origin Tao powerhouse seemed to be mumbling to himself in the void. In the past, when he opened up this place, this person seemed to waver. About 100 meters, he wavered. The path that was 1 meter wide before became narrower and narrower from this gap. The path behind the gap, in Fang Ping's eyes, suddenly shrunk by more than half. I'm not as good as King Huai. I'm not as good as other true kings. I can't do it. It's too difficult. I can't go on anymore. Go around it. Let's open up a little more. Just become a little stronger. Becoming a true king is too difficult. It's so difficult to become stronger. There's no end to the true king path. It's not that I'm weak. It's that I really can't do it anymore. A series of voices sounded in Fang Ping's mind. They were all that powerhouse talking to himself. They did not really exist, but a kind of remnant will. In the past, when this person opened up his path to this point, he began to waver. He denied his determination to become stronger. He muddled along, satisfied with himself, and was no longer willing to go on. As long as he was a little stronger, it did not have to be too strong. And Fang Ping discovered something. When this person said, I really can't go on anymore, on the muddy path, that gap, there was an overflow of power. He did not know what kind of power it was. It was shapeless and intangible, but it did feel like it was overflowing. Through that hole, it was evaporating continuously. This is getting interesting. Fang Ping was a little surprised. The power was evaporating. This person had denied his own path, so the increase in power was weakened. Although he had walked 200 meters, he might not be able to achieve a 2 times increase because a lot of his power had overflowed. Then how should I make his power backfire? Fang Ping was a little puzzled. The only thing he noticed now was that the other person's origin Tao had overflowed when it reached about 100 meters. This stemmed from the other person's denial and abandonment of his own path. But was this the flaw? Don't tell me that if I go out and shout that you're a coward, he'll be crippled? It can't be, right? This is too simple. Besides, opening up the origin Tao doesn't seem difficult. This guy doesn't have any special circumstances. He just wants to become stronger, so he set foot on the origin Tao. But after that, he denied himself and cut off his own path. That's not right. Fang Ping suddenly took a few steps back, then mumbled, Origin Tao. Origin Tao isn't a path. The soil used to pave the road seems to be a special kind of accumulation. Time, experience, willpower, foundation. Fang Ping suddenly stepped on the muddy road. Then, some images appeared in the void. A teenager was waving a Changdao, practicing martial arts. His expression was firm and determined, like the powerhouse who opened up the path earlier. It really contains the other person's memories. This is his experience when he was young, when he was practicing martial arts. Origin Tao. So, it's a kind of accumulation of foundation? Fang Ping was deep in thought. The teenager was waving the Changdao, his expression determined. At this moment, Fang Ping also noticed that the underground path was quite solid. When he was young, his willpower was firm, so he could achieve the origin Tao today. Since he was young, he had set his mind on becoming stronger. The first half of his path was still considered broad until he grew old. As time passed, he no longer had the firm willpower he had back then. His heart wavered, and from then on, the origin Tao changed. Fang Ping watched for a while. He felt that he had gained something, but at the same time, he felt that he had gained nothing. This guy's origin Tao was too ordinary. He could not feel anything. However, that big gap really existed. He denied his own path. Then, what should I do to make his origin Tao chaotic? Fang Ping was slightly puzzled. At this moment, Fang Ping's vision went black. In the next moment, Fang Ping realized that he was still being dragged by Old Man Li so fast. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. This was too fast. He did not even see anything. Was that it? Then, Fang Ping hurriedly looked at his wealth points depleted. He was speechless when he saw it. 15 million wealth points had been depleted. Just this thing needed to deplete 15 million wealth points. He felt like he had suffered a huge loss. However, the guy chasing after him did not seem to notice it at all. He was still chasing after him. Fang Ping immediately transmitted his voice. Instructor, I want to look at the other party's origin Tao. I don't think I saw anything. I only know that when he reached 100 meters, he denied his own path and there was an overflow of energy. What's the use of this? Old Man Li's jaw almost dropped in shock, almost falling from the sky. Was this a joke? This kid really went to look at it? What kind of heaven-defying ability was this? Self-denial, weak willpower, and a flawed path. Old Man Li said a few words, then said quickly, it's simple. To deal with this situation, make him doubt himself again. Once he doubts himself, he will immediately experience a backlash of energy. That's simple. It's not that simple. Old Man Li explained. Actually, once you've discovered the other party's flaw, you have to target it. How do you make him deny himself and doubt himself? This is actually a kind of ability. It's not like you can kill him just because you've discovered his flaw. Fang Ping muttered, self-doubt. Self-denial, this is not easy. He seems to be King Huai's subordinate. What does he believe in now? Does he believe that King Huai trusts him a lot? Fang Ping did not know, but he did not mind trying. Very soon, Fang Ping suddenly looked at the person behind him and laughed. The guy in front, I'm talking to you, King Huai's subordinate. Behind him, the Origin Powerhouse's expression was cold and unfeeling. Fang Ping laughed heartily. Old man, you're still chasing after me? If you really kill me, do you believe that King Huai will skin you alive? The man's expression instantly turned ugly. He was a little angry, a little annoyed, and a little confused. This time, all the divine generals who came to the 7 southern regions were abandoned. This is an agreement between the top to complete a big plan. Old man, don't chase after me anymore. If you do, I won't be polite anymore. Also, you old thing, if you dare to speak ill of King Huai in secret, just wait for your death. Nonsense, the man shouted. Fang Ping laughed. Come on, do you really think that King Huai doesn't know? Last time, you said that King Huai was nothing, that he could also become a true king, but you couldn't. Do you think that King Huai doesn't know this? What a joke! How could he not know? When King Huai and King Wu were chatting before, they talked about this matter, saying that you're not a good guy, ambitious, but your ability is very useless. You even said that you could have gone further on the origin path, but halfway through, you found it difficult and gave up. How can a piece of trash like you be worthy of becoming a true king? If it weren't for the fact that King Huai is currently short of manpower, would he let a rebellious thing like you stay by his side? Let me remind you, this is a trap that we and King Huai set up together. Don't make trouble. Hurry up and get lost, do you hear me? At the back, the Origin Path Powerhouse was stunned. His heart was in turmoil. How could this be? I never said it. How could King Huai know? No way. Impossible. I have always been respectful to King Huai, and I am the only remaining deity Path Powerhouse under King Huai. King Huai also values me very much. How could this be? King Huai is working with the Land of Rebirth. Fang Ping is lying to me. But everything he said, why did it make her feel so uneasy? She kept feeling as if everything had been exposed, and her heart was cold. The man was still thinking when someone beside him scolded angrily, Nonsense! Fang Ping, you will die sooner or later this time. If you stop now, we will kill you on the spot and leave your corpse intact. Nonsense! Fang Ping roared with laughter. Ask him if he's talking nonsense. This guy is slandering King Huai behind his back, saying that if someone like King Huai can become a true king, why can't he? He said this more than once. If King Huai didn't say it himself, how would I know? I don't even know him. But he feels a little familiar, as if King Huai mentioned that he would let this person under his command enter the 7 southern regions this time. I don't know if it's him. Of course, maybe he got the wrong person. That guy King Huai has a few god generals under him. King Huai really mentioned me. At this moment, the powerhouse's expression changed dramatically. King Huai really had something to do with the rebirth martial artist. And he even mentioned him. These words were not made up. He really said it. No, he forgot whether he said it or not, but he thought so in his heart, not just once or twice. This was contempt for a true king powerhouse. Did King Huai really know? Then why didn't he kill him? Yes, he was still useful now. The powerhouses under King Huai had suffered heavy casualties. He was a deity path powerhouse. He could help King Huai, so King Huai did not kill him. King Huai knew all this. This person's thoughts were a little chaotic, a little panicked. At this time, Old Manly said telepathically, What are you doing, kid? I didn't ask you to shoot your mouth off. There's no time to shoot your mouth off in a fight between martial artists. Kid, use your mentality to induce, you're very weak, you're very weak, you're very weak, that kind of thing. What the hell are you doing, kid? Old Manly was stunned. I'm not asking you to shoot his mouth off. I'm telling you that you've discovered his flaws. You can use your mentality to induce him, make him doubt himself. Fang Ping, on the other hand, was shooting his mouth off, trying to kill him with it. Just as he was thinking this, Something happened in the next moment that left him dumbfounded. No, you're talking nonsense. I've never doubted Lord King Huai. This person's eyes were blood red, his aura suddenly erupted, and he roared, Never! How dare you talk nonsense? As soon as he finished speaking, the other party's speed soared, and in the next moment he suddenly exploded with extreme speed. Breaking through the void, his flesh began to crack. But he did not care, madly attacking Fang Ping. Kill to silence him. At this moment, the other party actually showed signs of madness, wanting to kill to silence him. But behind, a powerhouse turned pale with fright, roaring, Stop! D***MN, was this guy crazy? His speed broke through the limit, causing his flesh to collapse, and now he actually dared to rush forward alone, intercepting Li Changxing and the others. Was this not courting death? Yet this person did not care. It was not like this. Fang Ping was talking nonsense. It was not like this. Fang Ping, on the other hand, was shocked, hurriedly sending a voice transmission. It can't be right. This is too scary. He's crazy. An elemental Tao powerhouse. Just a few words, and it drove him crazy. Old Manly, is there a problem? Old Manly was also extremely dazed, but he said without hesitation, Don't care so much. He seems to be a little confused. Let's speed up. This guy is a little crazy. His speed broke through the limit of his flesh. If we drag it out, his own flesh will collapse. Fang Ping was already extremely dazed. This could work too? Was the elemental Tao flaw really that serious? He just said a few words casually, testing the effect. But the other party seemed to have really gone crazy. The elemental Tao is flawed. Some of the deepest secrets have been dug out, and it's out of control. Fang Ping's heart was suddenly filled with fear. Martial artists were very powerful. Martial artists had always been improving their strength. Martial artists actually did not have much of a state of mind to speak of. From rank 1 to rank 8, they honed their golden bodies. Rank 9 to comprehend the elemental Tao. As for whether it would cause some strange thoughts to surface when one's strength became stronger, nowadays humans rarely did. Everyone was too busy, too dangerous, and they were all struggling to survive. But the catacombs, powerhouses, were there already some ominous signs? This elemental Tao powerhouse actually showed signs of collapsing in just a few words. This was too scary. At this moment, the other party's speed was getting faster and faster, getting closer and closer to Fang Ping and Old Manly. Old Manly suddenly let out a low roar. The long sword in his hand flew out abruptly. Fang Ping also self-detonated his mentality, instantly shaking the void. The other party's movements were sluggish. In the next second, the longevity sword pierced through the other party's skull, crushing his skull. It was unknown whether this person was dead or alive. His aura dissipated, falling straight down. The whole place was silent. At this moment, it was really frighteningly quiet. Fang Ping and Old Manly did not say a word. Continuing to run madly, the 14 powerhouses chasing after them from behind, however, were shivering in the cold. What was wrong with Jimu? Everything was fine, but he suddenly went crazy, ignoring everything, ignoring defense, going after 2 powerhouses who had the ability to kill elemental Tao powerhouses. Was this not courting death? Why? This question echoed in the hearts of the 14 people. This was too unbelievable. Courting death? Jimu was a divine Tao powerhouse. Cultivating to this stage, it was not easy. After hundreds of years, could it be that he could not even withstand Fang Ping's little provocation? They were dumbfounded. Old Manly was actually breaking down. Kid, you killed an elemental Tao with your verbal cannon. Fang Ping's expression was stiff. He did not know whether to laugh or cry. This can't be right. Is his willpower too weak? After a few words, he actually collapsed. Old Manly, I'm so scared. Huh? I don't dare to take the elemental Tao anymore. Fang Ping was really a little frightened now. Mother asterisk her, this was too unreal. Someone provoked you a few words, and you sent yourself to death. How could you do this? At this moment, Fong Ping really felt a little afraid of the elemental Tao. Maybe I should just continue to cultivate my golden body. Why take the elemental Tao? Old man Li was speechless. After a while, he said, maybe it's more than that. Maybe fear won over something else. He was afraid of King Huai. He was afraid of what you said just now. He was already questioning himself. This kind of person is most afraid of the secrets in the bottom of his heart being exposed. Anyway, there are many reasons. You can ask old John later. However, even if the flaws of the elemental Tao were discovered, it shouldn't be that easy to kill. This is an accident. As he said that, old man Li reminded him again, whether it's an accident or not, you've set a precedent, killing an elemental Tao with just words. Kid, your name can go down in history. This time when you go back, just change your title to Talker. Fong Ping's face was dark. He still had the time to joke around. Did he not see that the people in front were almost catching up, attacking from both sides? Big trouble. The old man did not look at where he was and spoke nonsense. You're the talker. P.S. Recommending a book? Our movie era. New book on shelves. Everyone support.